Yep.
Hey, welcome to Booked Spectacular for 2017. I'm Rob Olson.
Rob, you sound like you're phoning this in from the back of a closet.
I am. I'm hog-tied.
Do not adjust your screens. We are going to be having our booked costume reveal starting here very shortly. At any rate, this is the Spookedtacular. It's my favorite episode of the year. And this year we have special guests. We will announce them, but I know everybody's dying to see what the costumes are. So I think we're going to start with a reveal of Rob. Rob, can you talk for a second so people could just see your? Hold on.
Yeah. Hey, hi everyone.
This is not Rob's costume, but I get the feeling this might be a little more impressive. This is the post-it note that's hiding his camera. So,
yeah. So,
sorry, I heard a little bit of feedback. Heard myself talking there. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's it. So I guess we're gonna do this. Rob is going to reveal his costume, then I'll reveal mine. Then we'll have our guests reveal theirs, and we'll get into talking about some Halloween-related stuff. So, Rob, whenever you're ready.
All right, I'm going to preface this by saying that I put a lot more time and attention into the little sticky note that's blocking my camera than into the costume that is currently blocking my voice from reaching the... And everybody fucking knows already, so I'm just going to do it. Here we are. Yeah.
Nice work.
You went out and bought a cape. I'm impressed. Unless you already had the cape from some other.
No, this was like.
Yeah, he bought the red T-shirt.
Yeah. This is months of planning because this is an inside-out T-shirt from the Tweeds Cafe in where Twin Peaks was recorded. You can kind of see like the.
Rob, would you like to explain who you are in this costume?
Oh man, see, that's the sad thing. I was about to scratch my nose. I can't. This and actually, like I'm the Red Devil from Scream Queens, who was like the killer. That's but like, and this is an authentic cape. This was a $9.99 cape at the Halloween store that popped up across the street from my apartment. But yeah, I'm playing the red. I'm dressed as the Red Devil with a beard and glasses.
A handsome one you are at that, my friend.
I don't even have a knife in front of me. I have nothing to kill anybody with, so I'm like the worst Red Devil.
That's okay.
Oh wait.
You got the cord on your microphone.
Hold on.
Nice.
Dude, why do you just have what? I don't even know what to say right now. Why do you just have a butterfly knife hanging out around your desk?
To be completely transparent, typically it's my letter opener, or like when I get a package in the mail, like I'll open the tape with this.
I think once you successfully made it out of the 80s alive, they just gave you a complimentary butterfly knife. Like, congratulations.
Has anybody been able to verify that this is actually playing on YouTube, just out of curiosity?
Yes, that was the
Beautiful.
feedback.
Thank you, because I can't seem to get it on mine, but I will trust that Misty's YouTube is just faster at getting stuff than mine. So. I'm going to go ahead and go next before we go to our guests. So I don't know. I'm not going to explain this, I guess, until after I reveal the costume. I think you guys are going to get this costume right away, though. I'm pretty sure
it's Dr.
You guys will understand exactly that I decided to go as my favorite podcaster.
Oh, nice iPhone.
Wow. You like that? It's the new one. It's the new one. It's the iPhone XXX.
That is incredible.
So that's how I decided to go. I got to tell you, I don't know how somebody lives with one of these things on their face all the time. Oh wait. Huh?
Wait, hold on.
Oh, I can't see that.
You can't see it.
Everybody be quiet because I can't see Livia's.
All right, here we go. Can you guys see it?
Oh, that's so cute.
So, and then of course.
Yeah.
So, yep. So my costume is complete. I wore this all day today to get into character. I just want you guys to know I've been wearing this since 7 o'clock this morning. Got me a few weird looks in public. So a volunteer to go next, Jesse, Misty.
I'll go.
All right, here we go with Jesse.
All right.
I'm not really clear what just happened here. Who are you exactly?
I'm my bestie, Rob.
Nice. I like the beard. That's a good beard you got going there, buddy.
That is a great
Special
beard.
Earth Day Apple T-shirt.
Good job.
Nice. Very, very nice, Jesse. I like this costume. I like that both of us thought exactly alike on this. So,
I know. Nice glasses.
Rob, thank you. Rob, do you have any comments on the costumes you've seen?
I'm really looking forward to seeing Misty's costume.
I guess that's my cue.
Yeah.
And here we go. Let's see what Misty's got going on.
Really?
So get the fuck out of here. What the hell? I'm the only one not dressed like me.
I will say I did not think about doing a beard. I decided I wanted to be like a female Rob.
What a fucking nightmare. God damn it, really. There it is. There's Slutty Rob.
No, I'm Slutty Rob.
So, well, there you go.
Jesus
Look at
Christ.
this. Rob, what do you think the chances are that all three of us went ahead and dressed as you? I mean, that's...
There's a fucking setup. Setup.
I might have to time travel back to junior high, Rob. This thing is just annoying the piss out of me.
Yeah, these costumes aren't lasting long because my face is torn. You can't hear me. I can't drink my beer.
Dude, I had a straw in mine, and I lost it because the can's too big.
All right, everybody take a minute and take off the most uncomfortable part of your costume.
If it's okay, I am going to take the glasses off because, yeah, I feel like they reflect everything.
That didn't work out the way I thought it was going to.
Oh, you still have your tag on.
All right, I'm
Rob
stepping
put up
away
the
for a second.
sticky note.
I don't know if Rob quite understands how hard it is to search the internet for hat like Rob wears and find the right thing.
I am so impressed by the beards.
Yeah. This one came down, I swear, to like here. I butchered it just a few minutes ago. I mean, I just can't see. I mean, it was like this long.
I really, really wish. Oh, Jesse, I think you might have residual beard.
All right, let me go take care of that.
All right. While Jesse goes on to take care of his residual beard, here's what we have in store for you this evening. We, all four of us, read the short story Bubba Hotep by Joe Lansdale. We're going to talk about it. Probably just in conjunction with talking about the movie Bubba Hotep, which I believe we all watched. And we're going to talk about some haunted places around the world, which is really exciting. I have something that I want to bring to you guys and to the listeners, but I think I have the equivalent of a scientific breakthrough that I discovered weeks ago, but I have not shared with the general public yet. So I think that I don't know how much I want to say about this right now. I'm going to tease it. I think I have evidence of time travel in my possession. And I've been sitting on it for weeks just for this video episode. So we're going to cover that. I think we're going to have a Rob versus Misty Bubba Hotep quiz off, mostly just at how uncomfortable Misty seemed when I mentioned it before we got on the air. And then we'll have some general conversation, and I'm sure that like 2 hours from now we'll be done. So if you happen to be listening on the actual book podcast feed, that is the worst place to take any of this in because you will have missed Rob's amazing Post-it note, Rob's amazing costume, and then our collective tribute to Rob. Where we all dressed just like Mr. Olsen.
So, did you guys? Was it really planned, or did you? There's no way this was a fucking coincidence.
Accident. Damn it, Livius.
It was planned. It's been in the works for 2 months now.
Oh yeah, I think since the last call. Since the last podcast for 4th of July.
Yep.
And how? I guess how much were you counting on me not having a costume so we all looked like me?
No, we all knew. I mean, that's kind of.
All right, because there was and I want to tell you that I was this close to not having a costume. And do you want to know what my backup plan was if the if the cape didn't come through. I was gonna dress like, well, that would have been smart. But I didn't think like that. I was gonna dress like me, and my costume was gonna be other podcasters because they don't fucking prepare.
Yikes.
I like it. In order for him to be me, it would have been too expensive. He would have had to go out and get a smoke machine. But I would have given him top marks if that's what he would have done. So I'm going to call the winner of this this whole thing Rob's Post-it note. Best costume.
Do you guys want to have another look?
Yep.
I loved it.
It actually says Spookedtacular underneath my little drawing there. Artist. True artist.
Love it.
Should we do like a giveaway for that Post-it note? Like,
yeah. If you want that Post-it note, just email.
Oh no! Don't give it away. Sell it on eBay.
There you go. All right, guys. Bubba Hotep. So I guess we should establish this on the air. Everybody except for Misty had previously seen Bubba Hotep. Is that correct?
yes.
All right, Misty. Why? What took you so long?
I typically don't watch a lot of B horror. I haven't liked the funny horror in the past. I like serious, like French, terrifying horror, like Martyrs.
Mm-hmm, I know.
Visceral.
She's too good for Bubba Hotep is what I'm hearing.
But I did watch, what are the other Bruce Campbell movies? Like Living Dead?
The Evil Dead movies?
Evil Dead. I watched 2 of those last year for the first time, and they were funny. But I never would go, like, look at them on my own.
So for Christmas, we're going to do the entire Evil Dead quadrilogy, the first 3 and then the remake, I think, right? Is that what I'm hearing? And then Rob, you said you've seen this once or twice previously?
Yeah, I actually own somewhere the DVD. But I don't have anything in my house to put it into. So I had to find a digital way to watch the movie. But yeah, I was honestly drawn to the movie because I was a big fan of the Evil Dead movies. So I was a fan of Bruce Campbell. And then Bubba Hotep sounded like some fun. So that's why I watched it.
Right on.
And then Jesse, I can only imagine that you've seen it a dozen times. Is that accurate?
Half dozen or so, yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. So let's get into it. I'm going to give you, I left my Kindle somewhere. I don't know if that's in my car or in the other room. So I'm going to read to you from the IMDb page, the synopsis in the event that you are not familiar with this movie. Elvis, yes, that Elvis, and JFK, both alive and in a nursing home, fight for the souls of their fellow residents as they battle an ancient Egyptian mummy. I think that if you haven't seen Bubba Hotep, and if that right there doesn't inspire you to go and immediately see it, like I think maybe this is the wrong podcast for you. Like that's how strongly I kind of feel about how that synopsis alone is.
Long time listener Misty Bennett is now done.
Yeah. Oh, Misty, come on! I can't. We're going to talk about this. All right, we're gonna have to talk about this. So. Yeah, just what it says. Bruce Campbell plays a very retired Elvis, but he is not Elvis. He has changed at some point 20 plus years ago, changed places with an Elvis impersonator to kind of get away from all the limelight and stuff. And then he fell off the stage, broke his hip, was in a coma for a long time, came out of it, and now he is residing in a terrible, terrible retirement home in East Texas. And that retirement home recently has had a rash of deaths above and beyond what they normally do.
Oh, are we doing this like review style where we kind of just
I don't know. I kind of thought that. I mean, I could just talk about the whole movie. I could do that too.
But can I before I add to this? It is horrifying to see me without a beard.
You don't want to try this?
No, I didn't. No, well, A, no, I don't. B, I meant like the 2 dudes because you're girl, Rob. So of course you would not have a beard.
He finds that super appealing. He's like, man, that's.
Misty opened up a door inside me I never knew I had. Yikes. Yeah, dude. So, talking about first, are we talking about the movie or the story?
I think we could. I mean, they follow along so closely that
I was gonna say.
Yeah, I think that we can treat them as one creature, and then maybe at the end, if we want to talk about some of the things that were added in the movie.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I don't know how deep we have to go into this. Fucking Elvis, Elvis turns into the detective of the story more or less, and his sidekick is Black JFK, right?
Yeah,
And
so Rossi Davis in what I believe was one of the last movies he was in before he died too. I don't think he did a lot more after that.
It's good.
Plays JFK, who was not assassinated, it was an attempted assassination, and he was still alive, but the government decided to replace him, and for reasons unbeknownst to us, replaced his brain with a bag of sand and dyed him black and put him in a nursing home.
Probably best line in the story and movie is, "I'm thinking with sand."
Yeah. So yeah, they decide to take on an Egyptian mummy that sucks the souls out of the elderly people in the retirement home, or I'm sorry, it's not even retirement home. What do you call that? Like an elder care facility.
Yeah.
Retirement home sounds much nicer than what that place is.
Yeah.
It is, I think, both riotously funny, but very sad and touching in ways too that you wouldn't expect it to be from that synopsis. So I'm going to start right at the beginning. One of my favorite parts is that first 15 minutes or so where Elvis has a roommate and the roommate actually dies. Elvis sees him kind of pass on in the night and stuff, and then he has this interaction with the daughter of this man, who never once came to see him in like the 4 or 5 years that he was there. Just shows up, goes through his belongings for anything valuable, and then cuts out. But Elvis challenges her on that, and it's I think that although a lot of the parts that they did were meant to be or were funny when they were showing a lot of the residents of the retirement home, were also really sad, and I think really on point. I had the opportunity to be in one of those facilities a couple of times in my life, and it is one of the saddest places you can ever go.
Yep.
Well, I think I'm going to put this knife to use. But all right. So to contrast the sadness is the perviness, right? Like Elvis is constantly talking about his dick and something on it, and and there's a lot of talk about poop. It's an in your face kind of, and even like when the mummy's trying to get the souls, he's getting them through. He can do any orifice, but like his modus operandi in the book is through the butthole, which, I mean, it's pretty crass. It's pretty crude.
My favorite line is when JFK is saying that he was trying to put his mouth on my asshole. And Elvis just says, "A shit eater?" Like, that's it. It's 2 words with a question mark after.
Like he knows all about these things. You guys can totally chime in. It's not just Livius and I.
I kind of feel like that preoccupation is probably, I mean, it's understandable. If you have if you've got something on your dick, you're probably going to be like, you're just going to worry about that incessantly. And like, you're going to be fixated.
Almost.
Anybody can see like Misty's face right now. She's like, I've never once worried about that in my life. I don't know what the big deal is.
No, and I don't think I would be preoccupied if I had something on my lady area either.
No.
Like, I will say it's a very male motivated movie and book. I mean, there's nothing really for a female audience. It's very much about penis. Lots of penis. See, I was surprised we didn't get to look at the penis in the movie with as much as he talked about, like,
that's why it's classy.
It being cleaned and then him jerking himself off and whatever else. Yeah, it was a lot of penis.
So, all right, this is how desensitized I am again. As this comes up on the podcast. I didn't think there was that much penis in the movie.
It's not as much in the movie because they can't. The only time he can reference it is in his little mind or like by looking down. So they don't. But he does talk about that boil or whatever is on it in the book, probably every 10 pages, or it's not even that long. But yeah, it's like every page. Every page.
So story-wise, I don't think we can say anything else. I'd like to talk a little bit about it as an adaptation of a story, though. In the foreword that I read in this particular version, I'm almost positive I first read this as part of a collection. This time I bought it on the Kindle as a Kindle single.
It wasn't a collection.
Yep.
Yeah, the first time I read it.
Writer of the Purple Ridge.
And Lansdale says that he's super happy about the book and or the movie and how it turned out, but they still like the short story better. I'm going to go ahead and put them on even keel. I like them equally. Now, I did see the movie before I read the short story, so that may be a little bit of the issue there.
Give a little preference to the story. It was a great adaptation. It was very well done, and I know there was stuff in there that wasn't in the story to flesh it out and make it movie length. But I mean, like the one insect part in particular, it did its job in the movie to like give him growth or a character arc, but I just preferred it not being in the overall thing, which in the short story it wasn't in there.
Misty, thoughts on short story versus film?
I think I liked the movie a little bit more, but Bruce Campbell, his delivery is better than what I had in my head, so it made me laugh more than the book did.
Rob, your thoughts?
I actually want to kind of what's the word? I'm like reinforce Missy's point about the penis heavy kind of focus. And I was actually a little surprised. Well, in this viewing cycle, I was much more aware of the penis thing because I had read the story as well. But I was a little. Even though I knew the way the story ended, I was a little surprised that Lansdale hadn't somehow worked the penis into like the resolution of the story, like you know what I'm saying, as if like something about the penis, like the boil, like magically disappeared or something, or defeats is crucial to defeating the mummy.
I agree.
Like that's how central. At one point, it even says that he was gonna have it, sit in a chair next to him with like a pillow so it can like have a place to rest. Like he made it a very important focal point of the story. To go nowhere. It was a plot that went nowhere. Between the two, I think I prefer the film to the story. And it's just because I think that the film was able to flesh it out a little bit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so that's that.
All right. We actually have one viewer right now. I think that might be me, though. I checked it on my.
I was going to ask Livius because we hadn't discussed this, but are we taking questions? Or
yeah, absolutely.
Is someone monitoring the comments?
I have the group chat up, which is where I believe that will show up.
Livius, ask a question.
One viewer?
This is how we've fallen.
Is it because it's a Saturday?
It's because people tuned in and saw 3 Robs on the screen. And they're like, I'm out. Fuck this shit.
They're like, my reproductive organs can't handle this.
Aww.
We're too prepared for them. They're used to those other podcasts.
Oh, all right. Before we get into Bubba Hotep, I don't know how much time you guys want to spend on wrap-ups. I'm going to start, and I definitely want to give this book and movie some stars because I think it very much merits it. I remember seeing this and not knowing what it was. I'm pretty sure I rented it from a Blockbuster video or something, just based on the cover and then on the information on the spy on the back or whatever, the synopsis, and thought this is a batshit crazy synopsis. How can I not see this movie? I was thinking about this not that long ago. I mean, before we talked about doing it on the podcast, maybe about a year ago, something came into my head about this, and I thought that it is the straight definition of bizarro. So I don't know how this gets classified. Probably horror, oddly enough, but definitely I think it's a bizarro story, and I think it's one that's well worth telling. I went a little Rob on this one towards the end. I got a little teary-eyed, and I knew what was going to happen because I've seen the movie like 3 times. I've read the book or the short story twice now, and then watched the movie again, and still was affected by it. So I think that the fact they got a very serious actor like Ossie Davis to play this ridiculous role of a black JFK that's in a retirement home that has to fight a soul-sucking mummy is just brilliant. I think we didn't talk about it, but the hieroglyphs towards the end, amazing. Just goddamn amazing.
Yeah.
Every single thing about this short story in this movie are goddamn pure magic, and it's 5+ stars. I don't even know if we can go higher than that, but
wow,
5+ stars.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. This is one of my favorite things, Misty. It has been for years and years. Love it.
I am so sorry.
So we're gonna go to Misty for her thoughts.
I wasn't even ready to review because we did not review. What was that horrible movie that we watched?
Southland Tales?
Woo!
You mean the great movie that we watched?
The amazing movie?
Do a wrap up for that, right?
Oh.
Anyway.
Yeah, we did. We totally did.
Yeah.
Oh, I must have given it negative stars. I already forgot. I blocked it out. Actually, okay.
Wow.
So to piggyback on some of what Livia said, this past week has been a bit emotional for me. My grandmother is not doing well, so I've been in a hospital a lot with my 82-year-old grandmother, who's obviously not walking around as well as she used to. But so being in a nursing home atmosphere, the setting of the story really kind of was, what's the word I'm looking for? It was
A little close to home.
Appropriate and close to home. Yeah. Anyway, so some of the stuff, like, when the girl bends over in front of his face and shows her panties, and he's like, he has been reduced so much as a male that it's not on purpose. It's not, and she doesn't care if it was by accident, because he is not even like, he's completely emasculated just by being old and what it can mean. So there are some very serious undertones of the story, which is so freaking silly, which I think is kind of cool. Also, the movie in particular did make me laugh several times. I don't think I laughed very much in the book, but like I said, Bruce Campbell and Ossie Davis, he was amazing. He has some great expressions. So I didn't love it because it's just not my thing. But for it not being my thing, I'll give it 3.5.
If this wasn't live, I'd edit all of that out. Jesse, give us your thoughts.
I love both of them. I saw the movie when it came out in the theater because I'd been a fan of Lansdale for years, so I knew what was coming and had read the story already. And it's such a great story. I did have notes somewhere, but I don't know what I did with them. One of the first things I wrote down while reading it was, okay, yeah, it's kind of gross. It's, it's like penis obsessed, but that's a fantastic way to kick off a story. Like, that first sentence, you kind of want to keep reading and seeing what the hell that's all about. And the other thing that I really like about it was, I don't know if plausible is the right word, but it's possible. The whole thing is very, very possible, and that makes it that much better.
The Mummy?
No, the Elvis wanting to escape realizing he's spiraling out of control and not wanting to die from the drugs and the this and that, and thinking of a clever way out of it. That is totally possible.
Jesse, we totally want you on our conspiracy theory episode. You are now locked in for episode conspiracy theory. Jesse, would you like to give it a few stars?
I am going to give each of them 4 3/4.
Legit. Rob, take us out of this so we can go on to the quiz.
Oh, you're gonna quiz us. All right.
Yep.
I saw the movie before and I liked it when I watched it the original time, enough to buy the DVD, which I was looking for a minute ago and I can't find it. Otherwise, I was going to hold it up as proof. Although earlier when I was looking for it, I did find my DVD copy of Southland Tales, Misty, and I was very excited about that. So anyway, I thought it was an entertaining movie. I didn't look at it as being a place where you could find like deep value. It was a goofy story about Elvis teaming up with a black JFK to defeat a mummy in a rest home, and that's really how I look at it. And you can see like the poignancy of someone trying to escape their rock and roll lifestyle, or like Misty was mentioning, like how just marginalized you feel. Those are real, and I think those were very intentional in the story. But at the end of the day, I mean, Elvis, dick obsessed Elvis is fighting as a mummy, and so it's pure entertainment. It is not horror. It is not. It doesn't even like dip a toe in the horror pool. It's just entertainment. But that being said, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good, and I will give a same rating for story and movie, 3.5 stars.
Love it.
It's good. It's not like a masterpiece.
Exactly. No, I totally agree.
That part, guys, the part where they walk out in the hallway in full on costume is just.
Oh, it's precious. No, I loved it. I thought
all right.
it was cute.
The slow walk, the little Elvis and his entourage Reservoir Dogs
that was
walk.
wonderful.
Yes.
That was great.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. I'm gonna have the two people.
All right, no. But before we move on, Jesse just reminded me of a part of the movie that I was like, "Fuck this!" And it's the goddamn pie. Because
him eating the blueberry pie.
Yeah, because it was such an obvious plot contrivance. Because he's like so obviously eating the pie, and then when they make the switch, the way you know that they actually switched is he's wiping the pie off his mouth, and it's like, "Fuck you, movie person."
Oh, I thought it was cute.
I thought it was insulting.
You thought that part was insulting? That's the thing.
Misty, I live with my dick. Dicks are a big part of life. It's never going to be insulting.
By the way, I want to bookmark the fact that Jesse found that opening a reason to continue.
All I'm saying is if you had
well said.
It is very penis-centric, but I guarantee, Misty, if you had a boil like that on your area, you would think about it constantly.
Well, you'd probably do something about it.
You'd be worried about it.
To be fair.
No one wants boils on their junk.
I'm in agreement with that.
No one wants boils on their junk. That's what we should have called this episode. No one wants boils on their junk.
Hashtag no one wants boils on their junk.
I guess I just don't feel like it would be a constant runner in my inner narrative.
Here's what we're gonna move to. I think the two people that only gave this masterpiece 3.5 stars are gonna have to battle off in the form of a Bubba Hotep quiz. I'm hoping there's nothing spoilery in these questions. These are not my questions. These are questions I found on a website. Jesse,
what's the link?
Kindly.
I think the movie's old enough where we can spoil it.
Jesse, would you kindly keep a score? The way this is going to work is there are 10 questions. They are multiple choice.
Great.
So you will hear the answer. You will just have to tell me which one it is. We'll go back and forth, and we will award a winner or perhaps a tie, and maybe we'll have a tiebreaker or something at the end if there's a tie. So are you ready?
So I have a question. Are you going to do every other, or are we each
Yes.
going to have a chance to answer each?
No, every other.
All right.
Every other. All right. So let me get my browser tab open because I have this open already. And we are going to start with Misty.
Great.
Misty, who plays the character of Elvis? Bruce Campbell, Johnny Depp, Ossie Davis, or Kevin Costner?
Bruce Campbell.
All right. Misty gets 1 point.
Winning.
Jesse's writing it down. He's not doing it digitally.
Yeah, well, that's why I called on him, because I knew he had pen and paper in front of him.
That's cute.
Rob, what is JFK's brain replaced with in the movie? Sterno, molasses, sand, or rocks?
Sand.
And that is 1-1. That is correct, Rob. Sand is the correct answer. Misty, you're getting tougher.
Ready.
What is the name of the individual Elvis switches places with? Martin Coleslaw, Jack Cagney, Sebastian Haff, or Melvin Wilson?
Sebastian Haff.
All right, and that's another right answer for Misty. Rob, which creature is initially seen terrorizing Elvis? A giant ant, a housefly, a hornet, or a scarab beetle?
Wow.
Really?
This is a really tough quiz.
Yeah. This is like that. This reminds me of that like naturalization quiz that I made you guys do on the 4th of July.
No kidding.
It's a scarab beetle.
Rob is correct, although he was stalling a little bit. I think he might have been Googling the answer.
I was.
It took a long time for him to come up with that. Who does JFK initially suspect the mummy is? J. Edgar Hoover, Richard Nixon, Bobby Kennedy, or Lyndon Johnson?
Lyndon Johnson.
Another correct answer. God damn it, man. You
That
guys
was
are
a
good.
good guess.
Rob, where do JFK and Elvis find the Egyptian hieroglyphics? On the wall of the bathroom stall, in Elvis's room, in the equipment shed, or in JFK's room?
Bathroom stall. I'm just trying to move this along now. I'm not going to be funny.
Shitter wall.
On the shitter wall, correct. Misty, how does Elvis lose the contract he has with the impersonator he switched lives with? A dog ate it, accidentally used it as toilet paper.
Barbecue incident.
Barbecue accident.
Moving along.
Rob, what is the name of the rest home JFK and Elvis are residing in?
Oh shit.
Shady Rest?
Shady Rest.
All right. I thought that one
Dang,
might throw you
I
off.
didn't know. I didn't know.
Yeah. Misty, this one's a yes or no.
Oh shit.
Does Elvis use his karate skills in this movie? Yes or no?
Yeah.
All right.
That was also one of my favorites.
Yep. That was fantastic stuff. And then number 10, the final question. I think Rob's going to get this. What does Bubba Hotep seek at the rest home? Souls, money, brains, or revenge?
I have the power to throw this right now and give the win to Misty if I want to. Or I can force Livius to figure out a tiebreaker. Souls.
You son of a bitch.
Well, yeah. So I was kind of hoping that that one of you would screw up and we wouldn't have to go to a tiebreaker question.
Where's that tiebreaker, bitch?
Can't we both win?
No. So we'll try one
Who
tiebreaker.
directed Bubba Hotep?
I'm pretty sure neither one of you are going to get this. So I caught this when I was watching the movie, and then I Googled a little bit and found out that I was correct. There is a goof in the movie where something is impossibly repeated twice in the movie. So you see it once, and then you see it impossibly in another scene. What do either one of you know what that is?
Hold on, say that again because my connection went bad. I need to hear the question again.
There's something that happened where you see something at one part in the movie, and that same thing you see in a later part of the movie in a kind of impossible circumstance. I don't want to say quite impossible, but in a very, very unlikely scenario. So did either one of you catch a goof in the movie, I guess? All right, we're going to go ahead and declare you both winners. Nice job, guys.
What was
Livius,
it?
The license plate that Elvis, and when he's with the whole group of people and he goes to see Sebastian Haff, when they pull off, is the same license plate that later's on a completely different car that Sebastian Haff is driving by himself.
Jesus fucking Christ, Livius.
I caught it.
That's
I was like, hey, I think that's the same license plate. So then I wound up actually on IMDb. I think it was on IMDb. They had that, like,
That's Rob level stuff. Way to step into your costume.
yeah, nice.
Wow, yeah, that's
for
method.
a week. Yeah, so.
Yikes.
So that's it. That concludes the Bubba Hotep portion of this episode.
High five, Misty.
If you have not seen Bubba Hotep, Jesse and I at least strongly recommend that you do that soon. You can also pick up the Kindle. Was it Is it $2.99?
99
Dollar.
So
cents.
99 cents, 99 cents on the Kindle store.
And
Definitely
iBooks.
looking-
That's where I bought my copy.
Where'd you get your copy?
iBooks.
Oh, nice.
Is that a
Nice.
thing?
That's where. Wow. Yeah.
Rob, you want to take us into our next segment?
Rob's gonna figure out what our next segment is. So it's after the possible Hotep quiz.
Yes.
Wait, no, that's a you thing.
Oh, is it? I thought it was the haunted places. Let's talk about haunted places first.
All right. So this is why you should have introduced the idea.
Yeah.
So traditionally, what we try to do every year is we try to talk about things that are like creepy and scary. So if you've watched previous years of our, or I guess listened to previous years of our Spookedtacular, some highlights were talking about like what's her name, who went into like the water and died, and it was very mysterious, and there was a whole like her on the elevator thing.
Elisa
Lamb.
Yeah.
That story was really good. We did the elevator game. We talked about the elevator game.
The bridges. The
That,
7
the bridges.
There were the 7 bridges. And so the reality of it is that there's tons of scary stuff and creepy stuff out there in the world. And the other reality is when you're a podcaster trying to figure out what you're going to talk about, you can never find it. So I did discover an article that that lists like 6 different creepy places in the world, 3 of which I outright disqualified. And so I have a list of 3 that we're going to talk about. Hopefully you've heard of these places, at least, somewhat, so we can have a discussion about them. And if you're just discovering them, we can kind of learn them, talk about it together. So I'm going to talk about 3 different places that are creepy locations around the world. And we're going to start with, I'm starting low and then we're building. So don't think that this is like the worst of it. I'm starting at the bottom and then we're moving up. Have any of you heard of the Winchester Mystery House?
No.
I have. Oddly enough, I learned about it in high
is
school
not
of all places.
Olivia's hands.
What's that, Rob?
Oh, sorry. I must have a bad connection tonight. I said Jesse and Missy have not, but Livius has heard of it.
Yeah, I have. I learned about it in high school, oddly enough. My high school art teacher taught us about it. He had gone on a tour, so he had actual photographs and kind of explained some of the mystique around the Winchester House. So yeah, I've been familiar with it for really since high school, so a really, really long time.
So I'll give a little bit of an overview of what it is for Jesse and Misty, and then we can kind of talk about it a little bit. I have some websites up, so I'll be reading from a website. So essentially, it's a mansion that's in San Jose, California, and it was built by the widow of William Wirt Winchester, who she inherited his kind of fortune because the Winchester family, like the people that make guns. So like he died, she inherited a ridiculous amount of like $20 million, plus then she was earning like a ton of money per day just from like the sales of all like the fucking guns and ammo or whatever the hell. Jesse, chime in with any social justice that you want to, like at any moment now, like stomp on, if you print out the Second Amendment and stomp on it.
The Wikipedia article says she was earning about $1,000 a day, which in today's terms is $23,000 daily.
If you want to talk about war profiteering.
Yeah, but I'm guessing like because this is a haunted place then that there's justice in the end.
Well, you're on point with that because this house, the whole premise of this entire story, why this house is interesting is she believed that the ghosts of people killed by the Winchester guns were haunting this house. And her countermeasure, and I read this a while ago, so I don't know like verbatim, and Livius can probably chime in with facts, but in general, her countermeasure to the fact that like she was being haunted by these ghosts was to be constantly expanding the construction of this mansion bigger and bigger all the time. And in odd ways, I think to confuse the ghosts. So like staircases that lead to nowhere and like a window in a room that just shows you a different room and just weird, odd construction
So it's like a reverse H.H. Holmes mansion then?
I guess. I guess. But it's massive. It's just this sprawling, massive building that
seven-story mansion.
Jesus.
Yeah. And the rumor was, and I don't know how true this is, but the whole rumor is that like there was construction going on at this place all the time for years and years, and always something being added or built onto or completed or like that type of thing. So it's supposed to be this big, crazy ass haunted mansion. And as most of our listeners know, I lived in California for like 4 months this year. I was a 10-minute drive from this place, and in the 4 months that I was out there, I drove past it probably 24 times, and I never went to look inside the place.
This is a great story.
Yeah. So there are tours. It is a building that still exists. It's this massive. It's only 4 stories now because of an earthquake that happened that kind of took out some of it. But it's just I think it's continuing to just build tons of money on the fact that it's just kind of a fucked up house, because like eventually obviously that woman died in the early like 1900s or something like that, and then it went on to just be like a historical place that there's tours and stuff. And I looked up tours, and I just decided I didn't have anybody to go with, and I was like, I'll just go drink instead.
There you go. In the gift shop, you probably could have bought a rifle or something then.
Yeah. So Winchester Mystery House, I see this as like, I'm like an older woman and I just want to see, ooh, this is scary. Like it's that kind of scary, not like, or an older man, like a really tame older dude who's just like, I've had a really easy life and I'm just chill and like, I'm a librarian or whatever. That would be like a creepy thing where you'd be like, ooh, ghosts. But it's not like, there's nothing actually scary about it. Anybody have thoughts?
I think it's fascinating. I mean, this is somebody whose fear of the supernatural, led them to, not to just like, keep garlic in their room to ward off vampires or whatever, but to spend a significant amount of money and really upset the balance of their own life to defend against. Now, obviously, at least the 4 people on this call, if we were in that case, probably couldn't do a whole lot. But when you're filthy rich, it's really amazing to see how much money and effort and time she spent in, in just kind of trying to ghost proof her house. So
she fucking propped up that economy.
Yeah, she did. Oh shit. Well, and the contractors were like, at first they were like, oh, this is so fucking weird. But then like, if we make mistakes and we put a stairway, it just goes to a wall, we'll just be like, we heard from someone this keeps the ghosts away. And she's fine. Like the door doesn't have to open on anything but another wall. Okay.
That's funny.
So, all right. Winchester Mystery House.
Let's do this. Jesse, would you spend the night in the Winchester Mystery House? Like, I don't want to say like by yourself, but like you and like you and the 3 people on this call. Would you? Is that something you would do?
I mean, if you 3 were with me, yeah, but I don't really. It's more of like I don't see it as being a great place to hang out. I like comfort, is what I'm saying.
Dude, there's like 40 bedrooms. There's 40 bedrooms. There's like 13 bathrooms or something like that. It's actually like the ideal place for like our group of friends to like Airbnb if it were available.
But have you ever been in like a B&B or a hotel that was historic? They look nice, but God, they are not comfortable.
Like the Queen Mary.
Well, we talked a little bit about the Queen Mary from StokerCon. I, in New Orleans, stayed in a converted mansion one year, and it was probably the worst hotel I've stayed in New Orleans.
Yeah.
So, Misty, would you stay in the Winchester House?
It sounded way less scary than the elevator game or the Gates of Hell game. So yeah.
And Rob, I'm sure you would, right?
Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't.
Yeah. I think I would also be willing to do that for the sake of saying that I did. So
yeah.
Good job, Rob. Good job on the Winchester House. What do you got next?
Has anybody heard about the Overtoun Bridge? I hope I'm saying that right. Overtoun Bridge.
Mm-mm.
In Scotland.
Nope.
Have you heard about a bridge where dogs commit suicide?
Holy shit.
I have, yeah.
Yeah. So you've heard of the Overtune
Yeah.
Bridge. Yeah. So
That's sad.
yeah. So it's the Overtune Bridge is a bridge that leads to the Overtune House in West Dunbartonshire, Scotland.
Shire?
Shire, whatever.
Is it Shire or Shire?
Shire. I don't know. Talk to the Scottish people. Completed in 1895. It has attracted international media attention because of the number of dogs who have reportedly leapt from it, often dying upon landing on the rocks 50 feet below.
I will never go there.
Has also been the site of human murder and attempted suicide.
No.
So the interesting part is, since the 1950s or 1960s, numerous dogs have leaped. I almost said leapt, but it's leaped from the bridge at a rate of about 1 per year. Dogs that leap over the bridge fall 50 feet onto the waterfalls below. The only linking factors of this unexplained event are that dogs mostly jump on the same side of the bridge in clear weather, and they are breeds with long snouts.
Must be something mighty tasty down there then.
Well, yeah. So here's the thing. So the deaths have received international media attention. The canine psychologist Dr. David Sands examined the site, smell, and sound factors. He concluded that although it was not a definitive answer, the potent odor from male mink urine was possibly luring dogs to their deaths. However, a local hunter named John Joyce, who I have a friend named John Joyce, and that's weird, who has lived in the area for 50 years, said, "There are no mink around here. I can tell you that with absolute certainty." So,
so is someone killing dogs?
no, these dogs are just jumping off the bridge. Like there's nothing.
So there's no mink smell.
There's no mink smell.
Or is someone planting a mink smell?
No, I don't think. Well, that's
Misty. You're on for the conspiracy episode 2.
Ghosts.
Someone is killing dogs.
Could be ghosts.
Livius is right. It could be ghosts. A behaviorist said that because of dogs being colorblind, it may have caused them to accidentally misjudge like where the bridge ends or something. I don't know. But anyway, it's an unexplained phenomenon where these dogs fucking just jump off the bridge and die.
I don't like it.
It should be noted that all right, so the canine deaths have prompted claims of paranormal activity on the bridge. What ghost is like trying to make dogs commit suicide?
A bad one.
Yeah, a dickhead ghost. In October 1994, a man threw his 2-week-old son to his death from the bridge because he believed that his son was an incarnation of the devil.
Shut up.
Maybe the dogs are just trying to protect the kid then.
He thought the dog was half devil and half schnauzer. So, no, nothing?
Nothing. He then, so the guy who threw his son over then attempted to commit suicide several times, first by attempting to jump off the bridge, but later by slashing his wrists. Way better at killing kids than himself.
Oh, fuck.
I don't know under what pretense we would go there except to walk over this bridge. I would do it because there's very little danger involved for me, as I am not a canine. So
you're not part dog. Here's my question. If you're a werewolf and you go to this bridge, does the bridge's supernatural power make you want to jump off of it?
Let's phone Steven.
Yeah, let's get Stephen Graham Jones on this. If you do jump because you're a werewolf, does your superhuman like anatomy protect you from dying?
Yeah, probably. The real question though is if you have a dog and you live around there, why would you walk over the bridge? And why isn't your dog on a leash?
Well, but I mean, this has been happening for, what did you say, Rob, like 50 years or something?
Since the 50s or 60s, so way more than 50 years.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess,
like 60
we forget
years.
that information was not able to spread the way it is now, even as, 30 years ago. So yeah, in the 50s and 60s, I would imagine that.
That's fair.
Yeah, so.
But if you think about, like, is there another bridge in the world that has claimed the lives of as many pets? I mean, that's like, you're talking close to 100 dogs over the years. Like, in one fucking location.
I would imagine not.
Pretty weird, right?
That is really kind of weird.
It's really weird that Scotland has a dog suicide bridge, yet Japan has a whole island for bunnies, and a whole island for kitties and all this other stuff.
What?
Yeah,
Bunny Island.
You have lost me.
All right.
Okay.
I know about cat cafes.
I think
No,
it's weird.
Bunny Island.
I think it's weird that Scotland has a dog suicide rate.
Right?
That too. Like in general. No, Japan has an island that is like widely populated with bunnies that you can go and chill with and feed, and they're all really friendly. Like I think they just got dumped there at one point and did what bunnies did, and so there's Bunny Island.
Wait,
there's also Cat
what do
Island.
bunnies do?
Ask Bruce Campbell.
I'm gonna send Rob some videos of what bunnies do.
Bunnyhub.com.
That's funny.
I stole Olivia's joke. He always says that and no one ever laughs at it.
Oh.
I remember once there was Clown Hub. Not a goddamn not even a giggle.
Nope.
Oh.
All right.
You poor bastard.
Because I get the feeling Rob might want to talk a little bit about Japan.
We're not done with we
Oh.
will get back to Japan, but we're not done with bridges yet. Has anybody ever heard of a crybaby bridge?
No.
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 I'm guessing I know what it is though. Is it a place in the world where like people hear like crying or screaming babies at random that can't be accounted for? Because there's other locations that have that phenomenon going on.
Yeah, this is so in the Wikipedia article for this dog suicide bridge was like, see also crybaby bridge, and this was way more interesting than dogs killing themselves. Crybaby bridge is a nickname. Yeah, sorry, Misty, I'm not a big. I know you're a big dog lover, but
maybe we should go burn that bridge.
I mean, babies over dogs, right?
Don't burn it until you get to it, Misty.
I mean, yeah.
Wisdom. So Crybaby Bridge is a nickname given to some bridges in the United States. The name often reflects an urban legend that the sound of a baby can be or has been heard from the bridge. Many are also accompanied by an urban legend relating to a baby or young child or children. And then, so I'm looking at this Wikipedia article. It's like, it's got crybaby bridges listed for Virginia, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Oklahoma, Maryland, South Carolina, Texas, Utah.
Where in Texas?
Texas, there are 3. One's in DeKalb. Anderson Creek, which runs across County Road 4230, located 3 miles south of DeKalb, Texas. The legend says that a woman and her triplets were rushing home late one night to prepare dinner for her husband that was soon to be home. As they approached the bridge, the woman lost control of the car, causing it to ramp off the side of the old wooden bridge, killing the mother and her triplets.
How
Many
sad.
stories of encounters with the spirits of the victims. Locals claims that late at night, if you shut your vehicle engine off, kill your lights, and honk 3 times, you'll be able to hear the cries of long dead triplets.
All right.
Few claims have captured photographs of the disturbed spirit of the mother. Some call her the clay lady due to the amount of clay under the bridge. Yeah, this is fucking Crybaby Bridges is where it's at if you want to talk about creepy.
All right, so I think that we were all okay with walking across a dog suicide bridge, whatever that was called. Jesse.
Well, it's not scary for us.
Jesse, in a car by yourself, would you drive up onto this bridge, kill the lights, kill the engine, honk 3 times?
Sure.
Misty?
Yeah, that's where it lost me. If it was just you standing on a bridge, but if you got to go through some kind of a ritual thing, then I'm like, meh.
Rob?
Dude, I'm fucking doing all of this stuff. I don't even know why you're asking me. I want to do the fucking elevator game. I want to do
You want to play the elevator game?
I can't wait to play the elevator game. I'm
going to keep you from playing that game.
Yeah, you're
for
not,
the rest of my life.
Not on my watch.
But
I am totally willing to just sit on the first floor and wait for Rob.
See, that's
to end up in a water tower on the roof dead.
Yeah.
No, Misty, hold on a second. I don't know if you paid attention when we were talking about the game. If you're successful, you wind up on a completely different plane.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what happened to that other chick took a wrong turn.
Too much dancing.
Too much dancing. in elevators.
Yeah, she did.
here's a tie-in because it looked like she was petting a dog at one point. Maybe it was the spirit of a dog from that fucking bridge we were just talking about.
All the way in LA.
Yeah. They're, you know what? They're connected by our podcast retroactively. Look up crybaby bridges. There's like dozens of different instances in different states, and I don't want to have to read all of them to you, but like that's creepy shit. Anytime a baby and scariness is involved, like babies make things more scary. Am I right?
I thought that was water.
That too.
Oh man, if there's a baby underwater,
it's like a wave of babies, man. I'm running.
Wave of babies.
I love that song.
Before Rob goes on to what I believe is the last, right, Rob? You've got one more?
Believe or are hoping.
I believe. I stumbled across something, so I had to do some stuff for work, and we had a meeting, and my boss wanted us to go play disc golf in the afternoon after our meeting. The whole group of us, not just me and him, because it just sounds weird. So I was trying to get an address for a park that we were going to, like a physical address, which isn't always easy because parks just like kind of exist and don't necessarily have like a numbered address. So I Googled the name of this park, the city, and the address. This is Sunrise Park in Bartlett, Illinois. The first thing that came up was something on a like hauntedplaces.net or some such website. I just want to read to you this. This is what so I go, well, I got to find out if this park we're going to is haunted. I have to know what the story is. Sunrise Park has many different spirits and hauntings. First, the black dog with a human face.
Salad.
Speculated to be a demon by those who have seen it. And next, a murderer from the 1800s who murdered children and scattered their bones around the park. His spirit is still rumored to continue doing just that.
Wait, is it getting new babies?
I don't. Maybe he's just, I mean, babies have a lot of bones, right? I mean, if you're frugal with them. Right? Okay.
They have the exact same number of bones as an adult.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. How would you gain notoriety if you waited that long?
Finally, before the homes around Sunrise were built, the Ku Klux Klan burned black people and black sympathizers in the area of Sunrise Park.
Not good.
This is where I spent my afternoon on Wednesday. And it's kind of weird because I read that and then I couldn't not copy and paste that like at the bottom of the sheet of like the teams and like what the address was of the park. But I think I was the only one that was actively thinking about it the whole time because it's weird. There's like these little, I don't know, whatever it's a copse of trees, right? Is that how you say it? COPS?
Yeah.
Okay, so copses, if there's more than one copse, I don't know. There are groupings of trees that you have to play through. So there'd be like a little path that just goes into this dark like area of trees. So yeah, every time we set foot in one of those, I was like, there's going to be bones here somewhere or fucking dog with a human face. So yeah. Lots of haunted places. Next time, maybe we could just do haunted disc golf places for next year's.
I showed in that.
No, yeah, no, nothing.
No, right. I don't think that there's a whole episode for that.
All right.
We should, Livius. We should talk about. You remember we didn't talk about Cuba Road that one time.
That is correct. Do you have anything pulled up on Cuba Road?
Fuck no.
It's a very local legend.
I'm all Japan. Maybe while we're talking about Japan, you can get Cuba Road ready.
They also have good horror.
Japan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nikkei.
Look how much beer I have left.
Oh, wait. Let's see.
Missy's drinking straight vodka.
Yeah.
So we roll, Jesse.
Vodka ice.
Dos Equis?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. That's what I drink when I'm like being a priss. I mean, not like a snob priss, but like.
Wait, how is beer more prissy than straight vodka?
It's totally more prissy than straight vodka.
Clearly wasn't the word that I meant. It just came out. But I'm saying like when I'm being a girl about not wanting to drink heavy craft beer, that's what didn't I get that in LA one time?
I don't remember.
Sure.
Great story. Sorry.
Dos Equis is terrible. You should get Corona. I am drinking velvet
wine.
Nice. Sweet white wine. Guys, look.
God, I want to try that.
There's a little bit gone out of this bottle.
We don't have that up here.
I love Wait, did you go to the convenience store? Because you might
I
find it
think
there.
this came from Meyer. I could be wrong though. I was going to show you how. Oh, it's already on there. I was going to show you how classy it is. Look at this. See this?
Dude, I drink. I
All wine
love
should just
Twist
have a
Off.
screw cap.
Absolutely.
I agree. I was always not a fan. I thought that was like a sign of poor quality wine, but it's so easy to close again.
And it's not anymore.
Good.
You know what actually is really good quality is like boxed wine, if it's a good quality wine, because they're I don't know how they're like sealed or they're like vacuumed, all the air is sucked out, so they have a way better seal than any other wine there is, and it will always keep.
No oxidation, no sun damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rob, take us into our last haunted place, our second to last haunted place, I guess, unless we were talking about.
I mean, I can't get over the fact that your bottle says sweet white wine because, like, is there a white wine that is distinctively not sweet?
Yes, there are. I mean, they're like the really
dry white wine.
Yeah,
but there's still sweetness there.
Sweetness, but this, I'm telling you, is ridiculously sweet.
It's like you're drinking sugar.
It's
water.
like a Riesling, I bet.
This is sweet.
A Gewürztraminer?
Like that hat that Misty's wearing. Sweet.
Ooh, I like a good Gewürztraminer.
How nice! I
That's
did
my
get
jam.
I got a men's hat though because they didn't have women's where I was purchasing. So I've noticed that mine fits a bit differently than you guys.
Did you search if
Coming
Rob
out
was
a
a
little bit.
woman? What hat would he get?
As a matter of fact, yes. Also, there's literally a spider on my wall right now, and I want to squish it.
That's terrifying.
It is the Spookedtacular. Can we see? Yeah.
No, don't kill him.
Well, Jesse. Oh shit! I missed him.
Spiders are good.
I want to do it, but I thought that would have been a great place to just kick Misty off the call, so it looks like the spider just got her. So.
By the way,
Yeah, spider was the end of her.
Wait, do you guys remember when I was in Chicago? Wait, Jesse, were you there too? Yeah, when we did Chicago 2-3 years ago, and we were doing the podcast in Rob's apartment,
I remember that.
and we saw a spider.
Don't remember that.
It's on the recording, the
I
spider.
vaguely remember this, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Well, now it's in my apartment.
All
Great.
right. Well, you take care of that. Rob's going to tell us
by me.
her final haunted place.
If you got a spider in your apartment, that means you don't have other insects in your apartment, so it's all good.
Yeah, spiders are pretty much always the best.
Well, he's
I'm gonna
in my kitchen.
Well, all right. I mean, just give him a name and it'll be less threatening. Like Stan. How could you be mad at a spider named Stan?
A Nancy.
Nancy. That's
Oh,
it.
I
A little
know
feminine
you said
touch.
Nancy from American Gods.
Would you kill a Nancy
Oh, Jesse.
if you were in your apartment?
Not in that fancy suit.
That's a damn good suit that was. Someday I will have it.
Livius is like, what is my life come to?
Just having flashbacks to previous Spookedtaculars, and I thought we fixed that issue.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
Shots fired.
Fuck you.
Oh, sad organ. Oh, so how about that last haunted place? It was in Japan?
Yeah, you guys may have heard of this one. I'm going to pronounce this wrong, but I don't care. And so that's how I survive in life. So the Aokigahara Forest, also known as the Suicide Forest.
Oh, I totally know about that one, yeah.
Isn't there a movie about it?
Oh my God, is there a movie about it?
No, I think you might be thinking of Suicide Club, which is like predominantly set in a school.
I know we talked about it. It was mentioned in, was it The Drowning Girl, Rob? I think it came up in a couple of books that we read, actually, for the podcast.
The Suicide Forest?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. So the idea is that this is a forest near, I think it's Mount Fuji, right? Near Mount Fuji that is become notorious for being the place that people just go to kill themselves.
Wow.
To the point where like it's like in the triple digits per year, people committing suicide inside this forest. Does that kind of track with your knowledge, Jesse?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the beginning of its history there was a period of time where it just kind of happened that way and no one knows why. But then you got to figure in more modern times, it eventually just became the place that people consciously decided to go to do that, you know?
Yeah. So I have a little bit of history that may help out. And this is from a New York Times article written by James Estrin in 2012. So this is a little bit dated, but it's got some good information. In 1960, an author named Seicho Matsumoto wrote a novel called Tower of Wave, in which a couple commits suicide in this forest. And the forest is described as a perfect place to die by a different author named Wataru Tsurumi in his book called The Complete Manual of Suicide. So like it's become kind of in pop culture associated with suicide. But to the point, it's gotten to the point where in like modern days, there's like signs put up by like the Japanese government saying like, you know, like life is worth living and stuff, trying to get people to like not kill themselves. And one of the park rangers, I think he's mentioned, his name is Mr. Ten Hoopen. That's his name. I think he's a park ranger and a geologist. And so he's a park ranger. He does his park ranger shit, but like he actively talks people out of killing themselves in this forest.
Shit.
So like
a rough job.
Like his job, can you imagine? And of all people, after seeing all this death, who would want to kill themselves more than the guy who has to fucking like stop people from killing themselves in this forest?
Is he
But,
dead?
Like, no. He's not that I'm aware of.
God, I hope he's getting like fucking psychologist pay or some shit, you know?
Poor bastard. You go to the forest there, he's driving around in his little Jeep and his little Suzuki, right? And he's picking up trash and chasing off kids that are partying. And they call him in one day and they're like, listen, we're going to need to add a little bit to your job responsibilities.
So here's a little snippet from that article that has to do with him. He's a geologist and what did I say? Park ranger, who at the age of 66 has spent most of his life in and around the forest and has encountered hundreds of people there contemplating an end to by their own hand. He has persuaded many of them not to kill themselves and rescued scores of others who had already tried and were dying. And then in quotes, it says, he sits down beside them, puts his hand on their shoulders, and just is there as a human being. Suicide forest. So like, of course, like that like automatically kicks my mind into thinking like, do people just know the notoriety of the forest and the people who are already contemplating suicide think, well, this is the place to go to do it? Or is there something about the forest that kind of like pushes you in that direction?
I want to say I'm squarely with your first statement. I think that as it became more famous, that's the place to go. And I don't think suicide's the right thing, but I'm also of that belief that you're kind of in control of your own life, right? So if that's what you decided to do, I do have to say that it's kind of nice that you just know you have somewhere to go and you know what I mean? Like the path has worked out for you, right? Like if you're in Japan, and I know that the Japanese suicide rate is higher than a lot of other places around the world. And I'm going to try to go into, you know, the thing of honor and dishonoring your family and whatever, and how important it is. We're here, we dishonor our family, you know, constantly and whatever, you know, you just kind of move on with your life. But I will say that in some ways,
true.
It's nice for them to just know that like there is a place that you can go and do this. So I kind of give it some credit for being a home to those who are kind of done with life.
So that being said, this is still like a national forest in Japan, and so like imagine you're not in the group of people who has decided it's time to end it. And you go to this forest because it's a national, it's probably, I'm imagining it's a beautiful place or whatever. Like, how do you not think about that? Like how, like there's no, like the value of that place as like a beautiful part of nature has to be like permanently tainted by the fact that so many people go there to just end their lives.
Does it say how long, like, do they have even like just a general idea of how long people have been doing that in that location specifically?
How long have people been doing that?
Yeah, because like the morbid question is how extra fertile is the forest from being fertilized by human beings.
Well,
That's why it's so beautiful, man. Lush
Jesse.
green bushes and trees.
wow, Jesse's getting all like, see, now he's on the other side of a conspiracy. The government is using people's depression to like make perfect fertilizer for their
Oh
national
no, I didn't
forest.
say that. I meant maybe just like, you know, like 200 years ago or whatever, people went there and killed themselves and they never got discovered. So then, I mean, living matter is the best fertilizer in the world. Dead animals and dead people, it's like it goes back into the ground and things just grow. So maybe that's why the forest is like so awesome and peaceful. I mean, there's got to be a reason why the one dude said it's the ideal location. It's got to be a very beautiful and tranquil place.
All right. So round robin.
That's reminding me of an episode of Hannibal where
Jesse.
the guy was planting people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesse, would you spend a night in the suicide forest? I know you're probably not suicidal. I guess I don't know for sure.
Wow.
It's got to be a heavy feeling. I mean, knowing that and being there.
Man, part of me feels bad because on these like questions, I'm just very boring. I'm like, no, I wouldn't stay in that mansion because it doesn't sound comfortable. And now I'm about to say, no, I wouldn't because I hate camping.
Oh my gosh, that was my answer. I cannot pee outside.
That's where you draw the line?
I'm with the two of you on this. On the not camping, I could probably pee outside if I needed to. Rob, what?
Yeah.
Rob,
any guesses on my reaction?
Of course you would.
Fucking, of course I would. I'll do anything. The answer is always yes.
All right, we're gonna talk. You know what? Ever since I saw the Blair Witch Project, this is no joke. I saw it in the theater, and my girlfriend and I threw out our camping. When I say our camping equipment, we got some camping equipment from somewhere. Whatever. It's not like we paid for it or had like the strong desire. We went camping once. We saw the Blair Witch Project, and we basically disposed of the camping equipment shortly thereafter. So that's kind of where I'm at with camping anywhere. Cuba Road. So the biggest point of interest about Cuba Road is that it's literally 5 minutes from where Rob lives. Is that a fair?
Yeah, that's about right.
So this came up as I found a site, mysteriousheartland.com. I believe we've used this as a source previously.
Is it run by Kevin Lynn Helmick?
It is written by Kevin. No, it's not.
Oh, that's Heartland Gothic.
This came up under the list of the top 10 creepiest roads in Illinois, and Cuba Road, number 1. I'm going to read you this kind of long paragraph. Cuba Road sits nestled between the towns of Lake Zurich, where Rob lives, and Barrington, where Rob can't afford to live. Both upper and upper middle class retreats.
That's so accurate.
A plethora of paranormal phenomenon, including a phantom car or cars, a pair of spectral lovers, and a vanishing house. A side street called Rainbow Road formerly had the distinction of being home to an abandoned mansion that some believed was an old asylum. Along Cuba Road sits White Cemetery, which author Scott Marcus has referred to as the Bachelor's Grove of the North Chicago suburbs. The small rectangular graveyard dates from the 1820s, and its ghost lore concerns mysterious hovering balls of light.
Oh.
Misty got all excited. Hovering balls. Dude, you scared Jesse away. He's totally gone.
He has left.
Well, all right. So we know where Jesse's at on Cuba Road. Not happening. Rob, have you been? I'm sorry, have you?
I've been on Cuba Road. I don't think I've been on that particular stretch of Cuba, but I growing up in the area, knew people from Lake Zurich who were like really keyed into like the whole Cuba Road like legend and stuff, and so I heard people like, were sitting around at a party, drinking, talking and stuff, talking about how they'd been on Cuba Road and like were followed by a car that at some point just vanished, and other weird stuff going on. Like visiting the graveyard on Cuba Road was always a big thing where like, weird shit would happen and stuff. But I have not personally had any kind of weird encounters on that road.
Can I say something?
Yes, please.
Have you noticed that when we do these would you go there scenarios, Rob is the first one to say, of course I would. And yet he lives next to Cuba Road, and he was also next to the Winchester Mansion and went to neither.
Wow.
I think she's calling bullshit, Rob. I think that's what that sounds like to me. It sounds like accurately.
Two places. Although I do live in Illinois, where that 7 bridges thing is fucking.
Holy shit! So now there's 3.
Who am I going to get to go with me on this shit? You're all a bunch of
Why
bitches.
do you need anybody? You're so fucking brave.
Rob, I think that you and I should go do Cuba Road for the podcast.
Do it.
Yeah, I'll do Cuba Road.
I don't think we can do it before Halloween, but I definitely think we can do it in November.
Oh, I was going to say, I believe Jesse and I might be in Chicago this time next year-ish, and we could all do it.
I'm game.
Well,
I'm game, but I also want to find a place we can put Rob in an elevator, too.
Yeah, elevator game. We just need a 10-story building.
We could record it. Oh, this is great.
I'll fucking buy a GoPro and put it on my head.
Do it.
All right, so tune in next year for the Spookedtacular. I'm not sure if Jesse will be joining us or if he was dragged away. Just jumped off a bridge somewhere, or what happened to him?
Well, I'm waiting for Jesse to get back so I can step away and get another beer.
I guess it is. Yeah, it's an hour and 20 minutes into our Spookedtacular now.
Spookedtacular 2018. We do all the things, right? Rob does all the things. We do Cuba Road.
Rob does all the things.
We do the fucking elevator thing
from a safe distance.
We do the fucking the bridges thing. We'll do that.
Oh, the bridges thing is way in like southern.
All of it,
brother.
I'm going. I'm getting fucking like chased by a ghost.
Also, isn't the bridges thing like you have to try like 49 different ways of the bridges?
No, you just have to do it in the right order.
Right. Which how do we know the right order?
It's a really good question. We're going to figure that out before we do it, because I'm not doing it 49 different fucking ways.
That's what I'm saying. Isn't it like 7 times 7? Are there 7 bridges?
I mean, there's 7. Yes, there's 7 bridges. So
is it 49? 7 times 7. It's like 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2.
Correct. Yep.
That's what it is.
Wait,
Sorry. It's like 7 to the power of 7 or something.
Which is like way more than 49.
A lot.
Way more.
It's like 4. It's like 67.
You're good at math.
Way good with math. Wait, Siri knows. What's 7 to the 7th power?
The answer is 823,543.
I don't think that's it. That's right.
No, we're not doing that. We're not.
Yeah, I don't know if that math is right. I don't think it's the 7th power.
No, it is. It's like
How
it's
many
7 times 6 times
are
5.
there of 7 numbers? Thus there are 10. 10 equals 10. Oh my God! Just an answer. I just wanted an answer.
Rob, ask Siri.
How many different combinations are there for 7 numbers?
10 to the 7th power.
Okay, I found this on the web for how many different combinations are there for 7 numbers.
7-digit. No, I don't even know if this is right. We're so bad with math.
This is for a phone number. So this is incorrect because it's for a phone number.
Where's Jesse?
He said he had to step away for a minute.
He just said,
I don't want him to miss the next segment because I need his buy-in.
He chose the right part to leave at, where we were talking about math.
Yeah. So if you're still sticking around, if you're one of the few viewers...
wait, how many viewers do we have?
4 currently.
Really? We're up to 4?
Great!
It's been like 4, 3, 4, 2, 4.
All right.
Who are they? Us?
I'm going to... Yeah, they are. I'm going to take this opportunity to refresh my drink. Since Jesse's gone too. It's down to Livius and Misty.
Great. It's going to be Misty and I talking about nothing for a little bit.
Yeah.
What? That's
I think
so hurtful.
Well, no, I'm just saying that, and who knows? Jesse has never come back, so...
We can talk about the spider.
We can talk about the spider.
Really didn't appreciate.
I love the idea of next year doing like Cuba Road and the elevator game. That bridge thing, I think that's like 3 hours from here. I don't think that's like a legit.
That is way too hard.
Yeah, so
I just don't. That's not. If it's an elevator, we can video it. It's gonna
be really boring though. It's gonna be like an elevator door.
No. Okay, I can do video editing, right?
So what are we gonna do? Why does Rob's thinking? What kind of noise is happening?
I know.
Yes. So you can edit video.
Have you seen what I've done?
I have not.
Oh, I've even messed with a green screen. So anyway,
Really?
no, I can edit video, so we can make it fun.
I like.
It won't just be, oh, we're looking at an elevator. No.
Okay. All right.
We can
Jesse,
make it fun.
we're back. Oh, he
Jesse,
doesn't have
he
his
doesn't.
headset on.
Yeah, the headphones aren't on.
There he is.
Jesse, what happened?
Oh, it's a little something that had to be dealt with.
All right.
You know those spiders.
See, he was smart. He saw a spider and took the right steps. You're going to be murdered in your sleep now because you didn't.
I just scooped them up and put them in the stairwell. Everyone wins.
Huh.
All right. Rob is trying to show us something called velvet jerkin, I think.
The velvet merkin.
Velvet jerkin. Okay.
Oh.
If that's part of your outfit, I don't want to see it.
You don't want to see my velvet merkin?
No.
Too bad. You're looking at it right now.
It probably looks like this.
I am going to go on to the next segment if there are no objections.
Jesse, that's only if you shave down there. That's when you need one of those.
I just want to bring it back in.
Or wax.
It's very, very serious. I may have made a legit scientific discovery.
Oh! Wait, we just revealed that we're not mathematicians, so let's tread carefully on science.
This is, but Rob and I had an episode that was very well received over the Lazy Summer of Podcasting, which had to do with time travel, something that I have been fascinated with. And as happens sometimes in movies and in real life too, I guess, sometimes when you have a fascination with something, you're more sensitive to actually being a part of it and to like recognizing it for what it is. So
you own a red car, you see a bunch of red cars, that kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. So I think that I have what at least the people on this podcast, at least I'm going to say at least two of the people on this call will agree with me is absolute proof of time travel.
I can't wait.
So I'm going to be the one that's not agreeing with you, I guess.
You never agree with anything. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you a small video clip.
All right.
We'll probably discuss it. I'm going to show you the small video clip again. Go ahead, Rob.
I want to say that while this is happening, we should probably non-Livius people should probably mute themselves so it doesn't change.
If you guys would please mute yourselves because this is definitely a visual portion. Unfortunately, this was captured on a phone, but it was captured in the portrait mode. So it'll be a little smaller on your screen. So yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, you're going to want to make sure you at least you full screen your video. So give me a second to get on the screen share. I'm going to share my entire screen. You should be seeing that super cool VLC logo there. And then I guess what's the best way to do this? I think I have it on the all right, here we go. Now I want you to pay close attention to the left-hand side of the screen. Does anybody think that looks like someone we know? Maybe from 20, 30 years in the future? I'm going to play that again for you. He avoided making eye contact, so I couldn't be certain, but I believe that to be Rob from 20 years from now.
That's Josh Harlan from the future.
No way is that Rob. Rob loves the camera. He would never ignore it.
I mean, guys, look at this.
Jesse has a point.
This is straight up evidence, man. I'm going to play it for you again. Look.
Play that again.
I'm playing it again. I have a still shot.
Pause it. Can you frame by frame it?
No.
Jesse, stop talking or we're going to be looking at you.
Oh. No, I was going to say, I think this guy might have hair, too.
Oh.
I don't know.
Which would be further proof that it's not you.
I mean, he does have a cup of Starbucks right here, too, to further.
Oh, my gosh.
Right? It's a black shirt. It's possible that we had a falling out, and now he's just wearing black T-shirts that don't say booked on them.
What about Apple?
Yeah. Wait, is that the whole thing? Is this your whole screen share thing?
Yes, this is it. Is this not enough? This is evidence of time travel.
Hashtag science.
Look,
What? This is the most me-centric episode.
It is. I was a little
Spectacular.
concerned about that. It didn't mean to be that way. You have to understand that I stumbled across this in the
Hey,
goddamn grocery store.
Look at all the love.
It's been weeks. I've been dying to share this, and I thought the episode that we, this episode would be the perfect time because there's actual video happening.
Wait, so this is something that you captured this video in the supermarket?
Linda actually captured the
At
video
Meijer?
for me. Yes, I saw the guy and I said, "Holy shit, this is Rob in 20 years." And I went, "Oh my god, what if it's actually Rob in 20 years?" So she went and got video.
Can you have a screenshot?
Yeah, let me. Yeah, hold on.
I'm not convinced.
Can you guys see that?
I mean, he's wearing glasses, but they're really kind of lame.
Olivia's talk again.
All right, so there it is. I have seen Rob wearing a hood before. He clearly has grown out his beard to its previous glory, not what he's rocking right now. And it's definitely a cup of Starbucks there. I don't know.
Couple things. I have a couple of things. Couple of points to make if we're looking at this screenshot. First of all, the mustache is long.
Yes.
It is totally against my style. I keep the top lip super trimmed because the ladies prefer it that way.
But what about in 20 years?
That's
like when I can't get ladies anymore? Is that
or when the ladies don't care anymore.
in 20 years,
Maybe they want to tickle.
they might want to tickle then. You're right. I just feel like I'm handsomer than that picture.
And Rob, you are, but we're all aging, buddy.
And I honestly, and
I mean, think about Elvis.
Yeah,
And
we just
nursing
saw an elderly Elvis, and he didn't look like he did in his prime.
the biggest argument against that being me is it's obvious that person is looking at something else. And if anybody knows me when I'm by myself in a store, I give a fuck about nothing except for me and what's happening with me. No, nothing. All right. I mean, it could be me from the future. I just wish that in the future, like, I don't know, I was wearing a suit or something.
Because I even think he has your walk.
Wait, can we see what's in the shopping cart? Because that could be very
No,
telling.
there's water at the bottom. I tried to Zapruder. I tried to Zapruder
Maybe
this.
it's when like
Oh,
Misty
so
and
that's
Jesse are
Misty in
visiting me.
disguise.
Am I in the background?
No.
Yeah. Let's see if there's anybody else nearby.
So there's Rob. Then there's the guy that clearly knows that he's being videoed. If you pay close attention. See, there you go. That's it. Guys, definitive proof. I don't care what you guys say. That is totally Rob.
That's
How is this
hilarious.
spectacular?
I'm not sure why he came back from the past just to go to Meijer. Maybe they don't have Meijer in the future.
Maybe he needed clean water because Jesse and I were visiting and they don't have clean water in the future.
That's a good point.
Oh, they definitely won't have clean water in the future.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Hashtag Jesse.
So, all right, if it's not conclusive evidence, I would just like to say that I think we've pushed the agenda a little further to show that time travel might be more possible than we thought it was.
I'm worried that like the thing that puts this in the Spookedtacular episode is that it's horrifying that that's my future.
No, honestly, like I said, I wanted to bring it up, but we don't have a good medium to share this kind of stuff. Maybe we could do it through the Facebook group, but I thought, video.
Yeah.
And that's why the other night I was like, we need a test because I need to see if video will actually like run.
Oh, we knew you had a plan.
Yeah, so so there you have it, Rob. The good thing, Rob, is that you're still alive in like 20, 25 years. I mean, that's really
Right?
the way to look at it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm young now. I mean, like, so like that would put me at 20 years from now, I'd be 59.
I was going to say, you're almost 60.
Yeah, you looked okay for 59. I would like to say that I'm pretty sure I saw Rob again today walking down Rollins Avenue to the same guy.
How does the future me just get like fucking banished to hanging out by your house?
Yeah, going to Meyer and not having a car.
How do you know he doesn't have a car? Because he's walking on Rollins?
Dude, what good reason could
Wait,
there be walking down Rollins?
maybe Livius doesn't like to leave the house anymore, and Rob is shopping for him.
That's true. That's a good point. I mean, I don't like leaving the house now.
There it is.
Nobody likes you leaving the house.
Oh.
All right. I'm turning this back over to Rob.
Oh, God.
I'm even killing the hat, guys.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Wow.
Look at this class right here.
Oh my God. Are
He's
you going to
returning
take
the
it
hat.
back?
No, this was ordered. This was ordered online. I'm not taking it back.
You could have just asked to borrow a hat.
You wouldn't have thought that was a little suspicious?
It would have been very suspicious. I'm very honored that the three of you would you dress like me, I guess.
Yeah.
Velvet Merkin 2016. Fucking doing it right now. I'm going to say that right now.
Is that a thing? Is that a big deal?
It is a California brewery, Firestone Walker. This is a barrel-aged offering that it's a limited release. So they have Velvet Merlin. Velvet Merlin is their normal oatmeal stout. This is their barrel-aged oatmeal stout. It's released once a year.
By the way, going back to the hats, Livius and Jesse, if you liked it, I've already worn this, like actually out and about. I got a lot of compliments. So you might try it.
No, I'm not going to wear this hat after tonight.
I'm not a hat person.
Oh.
No, I don't.
Not everybody can do it, Misty.
No.
Yeah.
This is becoming part of the wardrobe for me. For like
yeah,
post gym, need a hat to cover the hair. Absolutely, loving it.
Little drag brunch action.
Before this devolves into a standard Skype hangout amongst these.
Yeah, we're still doing an episode, I guess, aren't we?
Wait, before they run off and start watching Hannibal together and
Dude.
live commenting.
I wanted to talk about Hannibal as a representation of Rob.
Wow.
Rob, I'm going to move that we move on to the last topic, which I think you saved perfectly for last because it is the creepiest thing.
Wait, are you skipping? Are we doing this?
Yeah, I'm moving all the way to the bottom.
Oh, this thing?
Yeah, we're going on. We're at an hour and 40 minutes. I think
I don't care. I'm having a good time.
All right. Okay, then. I'll leave it up to you.
All right. Well, we'll do this. We'll do the thing that you're suggesting.
Wait,
then-
what if I need to refill?
Refill now.
We'll give you a couple minutes before going into what I think is probably the best part of this episode. I mean, other than my proof of time travel, which...
Proof. Can you put the proof in quotes somehow? Oh, Jesse's leaving again too. It's just you and I. Oh, it's like a normal episode.
Yeah. Jesus, maybe we can get on track here.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. Misty is obviously having a bowl of cereal.
This little gem here, man, I got to tell you, I didn't read it until just now, and I'm very excited about this.
Yeah, this is something. So basically, I found this thing that we're about to look at by looking up the thing that we talked about last year that was super creepy and trying to find things that were similar to it. So hopefully it lives up to, I don't think it's going to live up to like the scale, but it has that creepiness factor. That's really good.
I don't think we've ever introduced our co-host. I love that on Misty's wall is a picture of you and her. If you look in the video, when she comes back,
Yeah.
right on the wall, the first picture you see is a picture of the two of you, I believe.
Oh, really?
I think so.
I'm not seeing. Oh,
And we've got to get her, or click on her video. We can
I
make
did,
some-
but I just see paintings. I don't see
Oh, yeah, that's there.
photos.
Livius, I got a picture of you and me on
Oh,
our
yeah.
Oh, that's sweet, Jesse.
Livius, it was being blocked by the little fucking sidebar of
Gotcha.
Google Hangout shit, but yeah, I see it. Yeah, that's LA 2012. That's yeah, that's the first time that
That's from when the movie that shall never be viewed was made.
yeah. Yeah. That's the first time.
little Tito's.
Finished off the Tito's.
All in one night? Good job.
Right?
Man, you're better than Livius with that sweet wine. I think Tito's is in Illinois. Where are they out of?
Texas.
How fucking dare you? It's from Texas.
How dare I?
It's Texas, Rob. It's filtered 5 times. It's made in a copper pot still.
Listen to Jesse. It actually is more. It's more distilled than like even Grey Goose and half the price.
So, do you know the story behind Grey Goose, by the way?
That it's overpriced, and I used to buy it all the time.
Grey
'Cause I
Goose
was
is like
duped.
Grey
Didn't some
Goose-
guy buy it up? Like some rich dude decided he just wanted to have
Yes. So
a vodka
Okay,
label.
it has. It's not what it used to be. I do know that. Like it was originally a very high quality vodka, and it has not been in like the last. When was it bought? Like 10 or 15 years ago.
So probably like when I was a teenager, but the idea, like the thing behind Grey Goose, and this is like a perfect example of how marketing is more powerful than the product that you're marketing.
Yeah.
This guy went through and he drank a bunch of different vodkas, and the one that tasted best to him, he decided to buy and just market the shit out of. So, that's it. It's all marketing. It has nothing to do with like the history of how it was made. It has nothing to do with the ingredients that were put into it or the process that it was made in. This guy just dumped a bunch of money into it and advertised the shit out of it.
Oh, no shit.
But
I mean, I'm not even a vodka person, but I will say that Grey Goose,
This is all terrifying, by the way.
it is.
Oh, look at Livius. Livius is furious. I'm never getting invited back.
Terrifying tales. Grey Goose is still better than Absolute.
Horrifying.
Absolute is huge, and a lot of people think it's top shelf because they had the best marketing campaign out of all vodka labels.
Absolute horror.
Absolute horror.
Okay, do the thing before Livius like completely.
Jesse and Rob will appreciate how many times now that I've sat exactly like this over the holiday episodes where I'm just.
Well, we never got to see you before for
I know,
Okay.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This is the position. This is the.
Okay, but can I say something? As a listener, sometimes the like little sidebars are more funny than the agenda.
Livius, your commentary on some of those special episode sidebars.
I agree. I agree.
And
Worth your pain.
And case in point are interludes. You guys have like very loose agenda for interludes, and it kind of just does this windy thing, and it just you guys discuss random shit for as long as it lasts. And those are some of the best episodes. It does not always have to follow an agenda.
That being said, this episode is the Spookedtacular. Although I appreciate how vodka is distilled and marketed, just like everybody else does.
Has nothing to do with.
Don't fire me!
Misty, you meet the one criteria that we have for co-hosts.
You
and that's
showed up.
showing
time.
up. This is like literally the one thing we ask for. You show up.
This is
Fucking
true.
rude.
Very true.
It's also
You
rude.
know your time zone.
All right, let's do the thing. Let's do what's the thing?
All right. Have any of you heard of, besides Livius, who read this, a game called One Man Hide and Seek?
No.
Prepare to be terrified.
I'm
Are you
so
ready for this
excited. I'm
shit?
so
This is
excited. Are
great.
you gonna ask me to hide right now?
Are you talking about how Chris Isaac can suck his own dick? Is that what this is
Wait,
about?
what?
Ew, I thought it was Marilyn Manson.
No, it's
First
Kevin
of all,
Smith.
I think that we should ask Misty to hide until we find her.
Livius! That's why. Gosh.
You guys have to understand, I spend the better parts of my weekends with a almost 3-year-old who loves to play hide and seek, but has really not grasped the concept of hide and seek.
He
No.
loves
So
to
she's-
open freezer doors in grocery stores.
She's the ostrich. Like if she can't see you, you can't see her. So you should
Oh
count,
my gosh!
and then you can't find her because clearly if she can't see you, how are you going to find her? So it's adorable, but it's tiresome because she wants to play for like 2 hours.
That's way too long.
Yeah.
Has there ever really been a thing where Chris Isaac can suck his own dick? I'm really stuck on that.
Yeah, I've never heard that.
And I'm not Googling it. I did hear the Marilyn Manson one that he had like
Right?
a rib removed or something.
Yeah, that's a thing. Jesse, you totally made that shit up.
I didn't make it up. He was talking one time in like some interview thing about how he's like scared women away that he was dating because like he tried to show them this neat trick or whatever and they weren't into it.
Dude, Chris Isaac is way more interesting now than he's ever been outside of Twin
I was
Peaks.
going to say, first of all, why were you watching an interview with Chris Isaac?
I was reading it.
That's
Chet
horrifying.
Desmond, man.
I like some of Chris Isaac's music.
Livius is upset again. Talk about the hide and seek.
Well, you brought it up. Or continued it, I mean.
No, because Misty, I was right with you on the why would you even be reading a Chris Isaac interview?
Oh, you guys don't like Wicked Game?
What a wicked thing to do.
Somebody's
To make
crying?
me dream of you.
I'm just trying to figure out, like, you scared off women because you were like, hey, this has been a great date. You want to come up for a drink? Yeah, I'd like to do that. And you're like, hey, do you want to see what I can do? And then it's...
Do you know what? Do you know what? That's my dream man, because if he can do it, then I don't have to.
Gentlemen, I believe we have a winner.
It's all in how you present it. Like if you present it as like, hey, guess what you'll never have to do because I got it covered.
Well, Misty, I'm sure Chris Isaac's still single. He's fucking rich. You get all of his money when he dies. Like maybe you could build a little bestie island for all of us.
I would do that.
All right, let's get Chris Isaac on the phone. I want to say I could probably do that. I've gotten other celebrities on the phone.
You have. When are you going to introduce us?
When you said I could probably do that, I thought I'm cutting the video feed right now.
Hang on, have you heard he's slurping noises? No, super jealous of Chris Isaac. That's not true.
Wait, you're jealous of him?
No, not at all. Not jealous that he was in Twin Peaks.
Oh.
Aww.
Is that what we were all talking about?
Hey, someone else from Twin Peaks died like this weekend.
Who died?
One of the detectives.
Not
the detectives
not
that all
Hawk.
have the same name.
Oh, the really?
Yeah.
We're really just delaying the inevitable, which is me
We
talking
are.
about the
I've
one
now
hide and
just,
seek.
if you can't beat them, join them. Here's what I'm switching to from wine, by the way, guys.
I approve.
Beach pear.
Ew.
How much of that wine's left?
There's significant amount.
How come this isn't like drunk Livius night?
He's waiting for us to stop delaying so he can start drinking the wine again.
Pretty much.
One man hide and seek. None of you have heard
Can
of
I
it.
tell you guys though that I was smart enough to bring up an insulated bag with ice packs for my LaCroix up here, so I didn't have to leave the video podcast to refill.
You know what, dude?
That was an audio thing. She flipped him off. I mean, a visual thing. It was not an audio thing. Velvet Merkin.
It's okay. We're not good at math either.
Oh, man.
That's true. Yeah, that's.
What's 10 times one man hide and seek? One man hide and seek. I found this game online, and it's going to fucking make you feel creeped out. This game originated in Japan and was known as Hitori Kakurenbo. Kakurenbo. This is a weird and spooky game where you play hide and seek with a doll. Dolls. Automatically fucking creepy, right?
It's like water.
Right?
Water, dolls, babies. All fucking
I'm on
terrifying.
board. I'm on board.
I heard actually, so like in the I have a very small apartment, as Jesse and all three of you can testify. I have a very small apartment.
Yeah.
Which means, and looking at the building I live in, you'll know that every apartment in this building is equally small. There's a baby. There's a baby in the apartment right here.
I forgot.
And so I hear this baby crying all the time, and I'm
Are
like,
you sure there's a baby in that apartment?
I mean, it could be a ghost
Man,
baby.
if there is a baby next door, I feel so terrible for those people. Like to have to
You're not
live
getting away from that baby.
in such a small space, though. I mean,
That's a
Yeah.
small space.
you got to think that's all they can afford, and that's really sad.
That is very sad.
Yeah. I don't even remember why I brought that up. I thought there was a comedy purpose for me bringing that up, but now it's just sad.
You just depressed the fuck out of us.
Welcome. In order to play the game, one man hide and seek with this doll, all you need to do is get hold of a stuffed doll, then remove all its stuffing and replace it with rice along with a piece of your fingernail.
What?
Oh yeah, a piece of your fingernail.
Like a voodoo doll.
So you take all the stuffing out of the doll, you stuff it with rice. I'm guessing Bubba Hotep style, you could maybe use sand. Piece of your fingernail.
Mojo.
Hashtag relevance.
I know. I'm trying to. Then you need to sew the doll shut with red thread, and then wrap the remaining thread around the doll. Then you need to place the doll in a tub filled with water.
No.
And then go around and switch all the lights off.
No.
So let's recap so far.
Man, this is a lot of work. This is way
I've
more
already
than
checked
Bloody
out.
Mary.
Yeah, it was a lot.
You got a doll. You got a doll. You cut it open. You pulled the stuffing out. You filled it with rice and a fingernail. You sewed it shut with red thread, and then you wrapped whatever thread was left around the doll, and then you put it in a tub of water and turned all the lights out.
Ew.
Right?
I'm already terrified.
See, what I kind of want to know, I mean, yeah, this is a lot of information. What I want to know is, where do you get the red thread? You got to think.
You fucking go to Joanne Fabrics like any goddamn normal.
Do you not have that in Minnesota?
So, no. That's what I'm saying, though. You have to go out and buy fucking red thread specifically to do this, right? Have you ever seen a spool of thread? That means, do you know how long it's going to take to wrap the excess thread around that damn thing?
Dude, you don't. Okay, have you ever? Jesus.
Just like Jesse to shit on a good time.
Have you ever sewn anything in your life?
Yes.
Times.
Okay, you don't just thread a needle from the spool, dude. You like cut some thread.
You have a length.
Thread the needle and tie a knot. So you have this much thread.
I don't know how you do
it.
Misty, I would like to say, on behalf of Book Podcast, in the last 15 or 20 minutes, you have solidified your lifetime ability to be on these episodes. That's all I'm going to tell you right now. That's
locked in.
Rob, would you please continue?
Here's the creepy part. So you're at the point, you've done all this shit, the lights are out, hide and seek is beginning, right? So like here, you go back after a little bit of time, you give it a little bit of time, you go switch off all the lights, you give it a little time, you go back to the doll, right? If the doll is gone, then the game is on and it's your turn to hide.
Fuck you.
That's some shit right there.
Way.
I'd rather take my chances with the elevator game.
Dude, I can't. So I have a thing about small creatures. Did you guys watch The Eye?
Like spiders?
I think it was called The Eye.
The Korean movie?
No. What was the one?
Missy's never seen a Korean movie.
They don't get those in Texas.
I don't think that's true. Isn't the what's the really famous one they did a remake of?
Old Boy.
Old Boy. Yeah, I've seen that. I didn't watch the remake. I've seen the old one, the original.
Old boy.
No, isn't the Jesse? Because I don't trust that Rob or Livius has seen this. It's the Stephen King one. It's The Eye, like with the cat. Cat's Eye. Okay, you know the little troll thing that was like running around that kid's room? Okay, that scared the shit out of me. Anything that's like really small, that can jump under my covers and kill me, not on board. Doll, no. Toy
Story, stuff like that.
Guys, I saw that meme online. I think I saw it last year too, but it was talking about like Elf on the Shelf and stuff. And they said when we were kids, if toys came to life, like they just killed you and your whole family.
Seriously, child's play. That shit's real.
Demonic toys, man. Loved all those movies.
That's right.
I would never play that.
I'm not going to play that one either.
Fucking, I'm gonna.
No, you're not. The thread out of this shirt right here. After I try to suck my own dick like Chris Isaac. The other thing I'm going to try from this episode, I'm going to try this red thread out. I'm going to actually ask if there's a baby next door. I'd like to see the baby. Because oddly enough, I've never seen it. But I hear it. Just at night.
Just remember Misty's threading tips so you don't like have to waste time.
Why did I do the whole spool?
Oh.
You guys are a bunch of bitches. I'll do all of these things, and you're just like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Oh, come on. I know
Oh
for a
my
fact
God.
you wouldn't do this last one. That's way too much work. Like,
Hold on.
Surprisingly, the one thing I won't do is try to suck my dick like Chris Isaac.
oh.
The wicked thing you do.
Y'all don't let Rob go to the forest. I think Rob might be suicidal. That's what I'm learning.
Have you met me? Nobody is
you
more in
try
love
all
with
this-
themselves.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
was going to say self-centered, but in love with yourself.
I think we call it narcissism.
I
I mean, guys, rightfully so. 3 people dressed up as him.
Yeah, we're not doing him any favors in that department.
cheers to that. I'm gonna drink a little Merkin for you.
You can't dress like the man and then ask him to be more humble.
Not
That
happening.
is fair. That's fair.
Not happening.
Oh, look at Livia's.
Oh, he's putting the beard back on. I gotta tell you, it's funny because like instantly I knew it was me. Instantly. So I have to give props to your costume makers. If it's you, great. Good job. I only wish my beard was that black. There's a lot of gray in my beard.
Rob, the makeup I bought was a black and white pack, so I could do that. It just wouldn't stick to whatever this material is because I tried to comb a little bit white in. It just wouldn't.
Oh, look at you, Mr. Detail.
That is cute.
They did have like more accurate fake beards, but I don't think anyone wanted to spend $30 on a fake
Holy shit,
beard.
there are some really expensive beards out there.
Yeah.
Hey, I never even looked for a beard. Not
That
once.
was like the first thing I looked for. That and that. Well, actually, no, the t-shirt.
But do you know why?
Yeah, where did that shirt come from?
eBay.
Good
Oh,
for you.
you are so cute.
You cannot buy official Appleware unless someone who had it sells it to you.
This is what the costume package. You guys want to see what this? Oh, this beard is huge. I don't know if you guys look at that. Look how big it is.
Amazing.
I wish I still had mine to show you. It's kind of like that magnetic game where you got to make the beard. the face on the packaging looks like that.
So, okay, you remember when in Minneapolis, Livius did the old, like,
Yes.
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, he put on my hat and my glasses.
Yes. So I literally, that's all I was thinking about is I just need a hat and glasses. I never thought about the beard. I just didn't think that was necessary.
She doesn't
Even
even
the
notice
hat-
it out there. That's
But the hat and glasses is such that is like the Rob statement. And I think it's because those are things you put on. Like the beard is just you, but like that's you're Rob with the hat and glasses.
Yeah.
and oddly enough, so Rob jumped. Am I muted?
No,
No,
Okay,
everybody
but
can
it's
hear you.
I'm not coming up like on my own screen.
you never do.
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't.
I don't come up on mine.
Oh, on mine I do. I'm looking at a full screen of myself right now.
Well,
Oh, well, blah, blah, blah.
Narcissist number
Fucking-
2.
Yeah, like, hey,
Regardless,
you want to take some Rob classes?
the other night, Rob jumped on our Skype call. We didn't invite you, Misty, because it was almost midnight when we invited
Oh,
Rob.
I was definitely
I
asleep.
think
3
she was
hours
in
and-
bed when we started that call.
She was on her second cycle of
But
REM
we got
sleep at
treated
that
to
point.
hatless Rob for a little bit, which I
Oh,
thought
yeah.
was funny because Jesse saw my costume. When I called Jesse, I had it on, and I had to assure him that it wasn't Rob, that it was me.
That's cute.
I showed my balding head a minute ago, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Missy, what are you eating?
Popcorn.
Popcorn is such a big thing. Livius, do you not want to? Oh, there it is. Smart Food Delights.
I've been eating it the whole time, but I make sure that somebody else is talking before I put any in my mouth. And
you could-
so,
Self, right?
Well, it wasn't that he heard me; he saw me.
Gotcha. No, I was saying from anyway. I'm going to rein this back in. Rob, you had a question that was relevant to the podcast?
Woo!
Are we done? Are we going to cover some other topics?
I'll leave it up to you guys.
Is anybody? I'm going to throw this question out, and either it's going to yield results or it's going to yield nothing. Does anybody have anything that they want to talk about, horror specific, from recent pop culture? For example, the new It movie.
I've seen it.
Other recent horror themed things.
We could talk about it. We could talk about
it.
Any modern horror things. Has anyone seen Better Watch Out yet?
No, but I did say I saw It Comes at Night, and that was really good.
Let's talk about it. It's
okay.
I'm happy that they got rid of the
spider.
No, the child gangbang.
Oh, dude.
Child gangbang.
Dude.
Go.
I am okay. Can we talk? Okay, so that's actually I read a lot of Stephen King when I was a kid, because that was my dad's favorite writer, and so there were Stephen King books everywhere, and I have always liked weird, dark shit. So, but it was actually one of probably the 10th Stephen King book that I read, and it really obviously, or not obviously. So when I was reading these, I was not even a teenager. I was like in elementary school and junior high. And so reading that at that age even was very disturbing, and I didn't read it. And I kind of got off of him for a bit. After that, I started reading Robin Cook, which is this medical mystery kind of writer. Anyway, I reread it again in preparation for watching the movie, and it is no less disturbing today. So how do you guys feel about that gangbang, and was it necessary? And I think now as an adult, as a kid, I was just kind of grossed out by it because I wasn't ready for that kind of thing in my brain. But honestly, was that necessary? As an adult, I feel like I could objectively, or I don't know, as a more astute reader, say, you didn't need to include that. That didn't make sense to me as far as being the magical thing that brought them together. Did it need to be a 12-year-old gangbang?
I read it when the movie came out, which was 27 years ago, which would have put me squarely at 17 years old.
You're old.
I didn't think it was necessary then. And I have not reread it. It's really kudos to you for rereading it. If I remember correctly, it's over 800 pages, right? I mean, it's not
long.
It's in the thousands, I think.
Yeah,
just over.
The hardcover book is this fat. It's 2 inches, 2.5.
Yeah, so I didn't think it was necessary then. That being said, it did have a kind of ritualistic kind of feel to it. So I mean, I could see why. I don't think it was necessary. I didn't get it, but I'm not. I never thought oh great, Stephen King wanted to write a group sex scene amongst kids, and that's why he did it, because I've seen that bantered around the internet. No, I think in his mind, it made sense as a ritual to rid themselves of Pennywise.
Got it.
Yeah, did it play okay in the new movie without it? Yeah, sure. I'm kind of glad. I mean, there was no way it was going to make it into the new movie. Now, that being said, we were just talking about Old Boy. My concern for Old Boy and the remakes, I did see the remake, which I actually kind of liked.
Did you? I didn't watch it because I heard bad things about it.
Yeah, I didn't think it was terrible. I mean, it's nowhere near the original. A-rate. My point to that was that the American audience would not go for the same ending as the original Japanese movie. So without spoiling anything, since it's one of my all-time favorite movies. And you know what? The ending was exactly the same. And American audiences didn't watch it. The people who watched the movie were people who saw Old Boy and then wanted to hate the new one. So that's the only people that ever saw it. So, but I didn't think that would make it to an American movie, and it did. So maybe Stephen King could have done something like that. I mean, well, I'm sorry, not Stephen King. People who made it could have done something like that and maybe have gotten into a movie You know, not your whatever straight up porn version, but maybe something a little lighter fare. But yeah, I don't think it was necessary. I didn't then, and I don't know.
Who is this Stephen King everybody's talking about?
Yeah, but I did like the new one. I was going to talk about Bill Fuck. And you know what I was going to talk about? Bill Stutter. And I think it was okay that they toned that down a lot. I don't think it plays well in a book, so you understand he can't communicate. It does not play well on a film, and I liked that they did not play that up. It was good though. I like the stuff that they changed. I like that they beat up the clown instead of it being the weird obtuse spider. And I'm very, very curious to see what they do with the second one. If they're gonna go to the very like cosmic crazy shit that happens in the book, because I think, did they try to do that in the TV made movie? I don't remember it very well, other than the spider was like kind of cheesy.
I don't remember it very well either. I don't remember. I mean, I remember thinking the movie was okay. I don't remember really liking the movie though.
I agree. And part of it was the spider. Jesse, did you watch it? Do you remember it?
The only time I saw the TV movie was I watched it when it aired, and I haven't seen it since.
So you don't remember?
All right. I believe I saw it too, and I don't remember, but I mean, isn't that typical of Stephen King? It's like great story, great story, great story. Fuck, it's some aliens.
No.
I feel like
I saw that movie in the theater and it was horrible.
Are you talking about the new one?
No, I'm talking about what Rob. I don't know if Rob just randomly said something and it actually ends up referencing
apparently,
a movie.
Apparently, every fucking Stephen King story I've ever read has been like some bullshit alien cop out at the end.
Yeah, there's that one movie that's all about like,
knockers.
butt weasel aliens or some shit.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Wait, did you say butt weasel aliens?
Yeah.
The only alien one I remember is Tommy Knockers, but you knew they were aliens like the whole time.
Tommy Knockers had well, what still to this
day. It was very misleading because I thought it was going to be about boobs.
that book was great.
Yeah, 25 years later still stands as I think one of the best moments in a book is where the two teenagers are sent for more batteries and they drive through Derry and they're starting to like hallucinate, right? Because they're out of the airy environment that they need and stuff. And they see the one kid looks in the rearview mirror and sees a clown climbing out of a sewer hole. And I got to tell you, I was reading it. It was late at night and just chills ran down my spine reading that.
It's because Stephen King can't fucking help himself from fucking like referencing other stories he's already written.
Out of all the authors that you can shit talk, out of all the authors we know personally that you could shit talk, really, Stephen King is who you're going to go after?
I don't think you've read enough to actually do that.
You don't know what I've read.
I do because of how much I know because of how much you hate him, and that you just said everything I've read ends in aliens, and I only know one alien one. Like, you should read 4 Seasons with The Body. Like The Body, which is what Stand By Me.
This is getting really serious. I was fucking around.
Only because I read so much of it when I was a kid.
I got your background.
Oh, you hate him too?
No, I was gonna say I got your background. How much does one person have to read of a specific author before they can formulate an opinion on him? Also, I read so much Stephen King as a kid. I started reading Stephen King at like 6 years old, and I got all of his new books when they came out.
Me too.
And I read every single. Oh, good for you! I read every single.
I just wanted you to know that I read a lot of fucking Stephen King. We're gonna keep score.
Good
I got
for
this.
You.
I got this. I got this.
I read every single new book that came out until Gerald's Game.
I wasn't allowed to read Gerald's Game. Do you know that? That was the one they hid from me, my parents.
I was allowed, and that was the book that ruined Stephen King for me, where I like read 100 pages into that book and I was like, fuck this. And then gave up on Stephen King.
I'm gonna go with the statement that the Dark Tower series is the greatest series of books that I've ever read.
So you are not the only person that said that to me, and that's actually one of the things I've not
Oh, Misty,
read.
please read The Gunslinger. If you can read the, I read the original version. Apparently,
Yeah.
there's some kind of like editor's cut version.
Yeah, it's like a nice 250 type pages.
Mhm.
You know, not
All it
long-winded.
does is it's a
Do
little
you-
more. The original Gunslinger was published, and it was basically a bunch of like stories that were very loosely threaded together that he wrote
Yeah.
over like a span of like 20 years. So I think
My dad has it.
he went back in the new version and just kind of tied it together a little.
Yeah,
so it's less
yeah.
choppy. Yeah. So definitely.
The one that actually stood out for me as a kid was Needful Things. That one to me was amazing.
It's a great book.
Jesse and I were just talking about that the other night.
So, Needful Things of all the Stephen King I've read, which is a handful of books, was the only story, start to finish, that I thought really supported itself.
It was amazing.
That's
The
a great
conversation
book.
Jesse and I were having was I was very upset that the character, the antagonist in that was not Randall Flagg, because I was sure that at some point.
Wait, is he from The Stand?
He's from everything.
What's okay?
Yes, but yes,
Okay.
he's from The Stand.
Yeah.
Stephen King
Dragon,
can't help
which I really
himself.
loved.
No.
and Dark Tower series.
What the fuck is wrong with having overlapping? We have so many other authors that do that. Even fucking Brian Fuller fucking does that in the shows. So you know what? Have a
Oh
seat,
yeah, but
sir.
I like
Have
those
a
other
seat,
things.
sir. You love Brian Fuller, and he does that shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's
does Brian Fuller have the same character appear in another show, or just the same actor?
All right. No, he has the same characters come back too. No, that's a lie. I totally lied.
I mean,
That's a lie.
all I'm saying is sometimes it feels like it feels like more like someone's jerking themselves off, and other times it feels like they're
I
trying to
don't
have.
think that that's what it is, though. So he has said that he grew up in a small town in Maine, and he likes to have the overlap. Like, I think it's just that they all exist in the same universe. I don't think that's
Misty, forget what Rob's saying, and to a certain extent, because Jesse, you have not read the Dark Tower series either.
I haven't, but I think King does both. I think he does the good and the bad. I don't mind overlap and stuff like that, but I think he does push it too far with the Dark Tower thing. When you told me that Randall Flagg is also in the Eye of the Dragon, which is like a medieval thing, he has no business being in that. Probably, like
he's essentially
the devil
that doesn't die.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still carrying it too far. Like, he puts him in way too many things then.
All I'm going to say then, Misty, is if you read the Dark Tower series, there will be some explanation for the conversation that we just had.
Yeah. No, that's cool. I also just, one more Stephen King thing. I watched the series Mr. Mercedes, and it was good. I did not read that book. I haven't read current Stephen King for a long time. I just like the old stuff.
I need to interject. At some point in this conversation, within the last probably like 15 minutes or so, there's two people who are viewers who have made comments. Did you guys see this?
No, I can't see it.
I'm so happy.
Commenter Linda said time travel is real. And
I wonder
commenter
who that is.
Florence.
So Linda is probably talking about that whole video that Livius talked about earlier. Comrade Chrome, who I think we all know who that is, made two comments. Y'all drinking?
that sounds like now we know Comrade
Velvet Merkin.
We're sure before.
And then a comment. It's the cast of Newsies all grown up. I think he's probably referring to the hat.
Oh,
I'm guessing the hats. Fucking Comrade.
Is he still on? Is he still on? Did you tell him that we're all Rob?
I'm sure he sussed that out. Yeah.
We're all Rob.
I replied from the booked account. You still on, Comrade? ? So we'll see. So let's move away from it.
Stephen King.
Stephen King. And outside of Stephen King, outside of it, what else has anybody seen or cared about that's come up recently in horror?
It Comes at Night.
It Comes at Night.
Anybody?
I know of it. I have not seen it. Anybody else?
Synchronized sipping.
Oh man, Jesse and I. It's like we're fucking joined at the heart and liver.
Dude,
Well,
we're the
if
same
nobody-
person.
If nobody
Yeah.
else saw that, what else have you guys watched?
I haven't seen that yet. I saw Better Watch Out, which I don't think any of you have seen yet. What I'm really waiting for is Tragedy Girls. It was supposed to be available on Friday.
Fuck yeah.
Then it got delayed till like fucking January
Yeah.
for watching.
Yeah.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah. You can't get it till January now.
Teen slasher Tragedy Girls uses the dark side of social media.
Yup.
I'll tell you what, like, I'm most excited about though, actually, is Suspiria, Dario Argento's movie, has been like super restored and remastered, and it has this 4K print or digital print now that's touring around. And when they were restoring it, the company that's going to put it out on Blu-ray discovered this audio track that was only on very select prints back in the time. And I don't really know how to describe it other than it's maybe like quadraphonic sound for a movie in a theater where it's just all encompassing. And if you've seen Suspiria, you know that the sound in that movie is just phenomenal and stellar and is so creepy. So that is actually going to come into Minneapolis next month, and I can't wait to check that out.
I'm going to break Jesse's heart. Jesse, would you like to know which people on this call have not seen Suspiria?
Okay.
Has anybody? Oh, only Jesse. Oh,
I knew it. I knew it too. He was talking about it so passionately. I was like,
And do you know
Rob's
what?
never seen it, and I'm pretty sure Misty's never seen it.
Do you know what though? It's on my list, and I know that sounds ridiculous. Or that sounds just lame at this point, but it is one of the things that I felt like I should watch. Pretty much anything Dario Argento has done. So yeah,
Hey,
but
Jesse,
it's. I knew that I needed to do it.
cutting in really quick. Jesse, what are you drinking?
Galaxy.
Yes, bro.
Galaxy Dry Hop Pseudo Sue.
Of course you're drinking Galaxy Dry Hop fucking Pseudo Sue. Comrade Chrome.
I ran out of Dos Equis.
Comrade Chrome was, I told him when I was drinking. He said, nice. Probably a little, I mean.
Because it's from California?
No, well, I told him I was drinking the Behemoth 2016.
Oh.
So, anyway.
I'm a trader, not drinking a California beer.
I'm trying to include our listener.
I don't remember. I don't remember the last horror movie I saw. It's been a while.
The fuck?
Really?
All right, can we talk about a just fucking like abortion of a movie that I watched recently that was just terrible?
What?
Sure.
Not that I'm equating abortion.
watch?
Sorry, Jesse.
Sorry for what?
Because I equated abortions with being terrible.
Oh, no, I was just trying to think about what Livius's last horror movie saw was, because I could probably remember because I'm sure him and I actually talked about it.
I'm sure you talked about it. Yeah, it's probably from Korea.
It wasn't.
You like that? Because it's true. Comrade Chrome says Pseudo Sue is a nice beer. I'm sorry, good beer.
He didn't care about us being all Rob.
He did. Well, that's why he said the
that was the
Newsboys
first thing he said.
Newsies.
He called us
Newsies,
the
all grown up.
Newsies. He didn't say we were Rob.
It's the hat. It's the hats. It's like a newsboy.
No,
Anyway.
I know about Newsboys, but he didn't say we were
Misty, I don't think
Rob.
you're getting close enough to your camera. I think that you need to be
Yeah.
a little bit more there. Like,
Is it bad?
no, it's
You're
just,
probably the one person that can pull it off.
Yeah.
Of the four of us.
True
So,
that.
because we're not wearing that dark red. I could have put the dark red lipstick on. Oh, that's the there we
No,
go.
it's bright red. I did not do
I meant-
dark red. I thought that bright red was more slutty.
Oh, so you're slutty, Rob.
Originally, I was going to be. I just sent this in a text to our group text. I was going to do Slutty Rob, and I had a low-cut tank top on. But the only way it would work is if I drew an apple icon, like right here or on my boobs, or wrote booked on my chest. And I had actually already had a lot of wine earlier today. And I was like, if you try to draw on your chest right now, it's going to be a disaster.
Guys, look to the lower right of your screens. He's doing.
I don't care. This is the best part of the day.
And so I realized that a book t-shirt was way easier.
I'm just going to say Slutty Rob sounds amazing. Slutty Rob sounds about right.
Livius hates everyone. And by everyone, I mean me.
Although Livius will testify that Slutty Rob actually is, while you're recording a podcast, you just have a naked girl on your bed waiting for the podcast to get over. Like that's...
Yeah.
Livius, talking about movies and horror, can you briefly describe the horror that is one of the movies I suggested as a possibility for this show? Tell us about Shock Treatment.
Comrade Chrome says that apple cleavage would have been a winner. I want to put that on the record. It's never too late.
Dang!
Jesse had suggested.
You want to see a little apple cleavage?
This is this is
spiraling.
We probably hit our limit. Jesse did suggest the movie Shock Treatment, and I want you guys to you don't have to thank me because I know you don't know what you're up against. But I nixed it. It is the kind of unofficial sequel to the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, wow.
As big a fan as I am of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, I have not been able to make it all the way through that movie. It is that just awful and terrible. Jesse, the last horror movie I probably watched was it was that one about it all took place in a coroner's in a morgue with a small town sheriff. So there was a cult of people.
The Void?
The Void. I think that was that.
Love that movie.
Horror movie
I haven't watched that.
It was okay.
So good.
It was okay.
Wait, Jesse, what's the other one that you and I talked about the other day? We were talking about It Comes at Night, and there was one more.
Was it The Babysitter from Netflix that I was trying to talk about before I got cut off because I was talking about cleavage?
And the only reason I knew
cut
that
yourself off, buddy, talking about your cleavage.
Can you really blame
I
me?
know Dennis Woodmeyer watched it because he posted about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stupid. Don't watch it. So I will, but I have some critical reactions to it. So should I talk about it now, or should I
do it?
Whatever the fuck was happening when I interrupted?
Do it.
The Babysitter so I'm the only one that's seen it, right?
Yes.
I was like, oh, dude, there's a Netflix original that's like The Babysitter, and it looked kind of interesting and everything. I judged a book by its cover. Bad choice. So the whole idea is there's this little kid who's the protagonist, and he's got this awesome babysitter who's obviously super hot and a female because it's a boy that's being babysat. And he's a little too old to be babysat, but his parents are a little bit anyway. So the whole premise is there's no premise. That's the thing. You don't go in knowing what's going to happen. You just know this kid's got a babysitter. Babysitter fucking is babysitting because his parents are going away on a trip. So it's just him and the babysitter. The babysitter invites over all her friends. He stays up because he's I want to know what's going on because I got little kid boners and stuff. And he witnesses this weird witch murder sacrifice. So immediately the babysitter flips to being, and this is kind of this is a spoiler, don't care. The babysitter kills this dude with knives in the head. This isn't a multi-jacking off thing. This is knives in the head. Knives in the head, kills this guy, sacrifices him so they can have his blood to do something. And then they need the blood of the kid they're babysitting, obviously, because it's a fucking B movie. So, of course, that's just how stories are told when you're stupid. And so the whole story is this babysitter and all of her group of friends who gathered to do this weird blood sacrifice thing are trying to kill this kid who's a fucking 10-year-old kid And instead of, like, typically in like horror movie fashion, you have a group of innocent people and one killer, right?
Oh yeah.
And the one killer slowly picks off the innocent people one at a time. This babysitter movie has a group of killers with one kid, one innocent, and through a series of misadventures, the murderers are killed off one at a time.
That sounds awesome.
That is great.
It sounds great. It's not great.
I thank you, Rob, because I considered watching that, and based on your review, I'm not going to.
Nope.
And again, I don't want to change the subject, but I did just look at my messages, and I would just like to clarify, Misty, because you said you sent it in a message. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read this last part that needs a little bit of explanation. It says, "But I drank too much at the hospital."
Ooh, I don't know if this is for on.
I'll
online.
soften it up.
Good job,
What kind
Misty.
of goddamn hospitals do you
I'm
have in
sorry.
Texas?
It's definitely not one in Arrested Development. That's for sure.
Right. So, Livia's, I'll soften this up. My
That's what she said.
grandmother is not doing well.
No, I got that part.
My friend Julie, so every time my mom has two sisters.
Mhm.
And you know what? I shouldn't even say that. She has one sister that alternates shifts with her at the hospital. And so today is my mom's shift at the hospital.
Mhm.
And so Julie and I were, because I had to do some stuff because I don't like her to be by herself when she's there. If I can be there, I'm going to go there. So I told Julie I'm going to go to the hospital after this. Anyway, she shows up with wine at the hospital. And so we almost had a bottle of wine each because she brought 3 bottles of wine and we drank them in the hospital.
Fucking Texas.
My mom's sister, she has Budweiser every day in the hospital, like just cans
In the
of
hospital?
Budweiser. Oh, they don't check, like there's no security. I was telling someone today, you can
To be honest, they probably don't expect you to bring alcohol to the hospital. They're probably
That's
just not
fair.
looking for that.
That's fair. No, when I got the first time I went was on Tuesday, and I got there and there's literally have you seen the Budweiser 55 calories?
No.
It's just sitting, just a can.
No.
Just sitting out
why
there.
would I see that?
Just a can of Budweiser is sitting out in front of my Aunt Sandy. And I'm like, oh, so she's drinking beer here. And so one day, as a joke, I brought a bottle of wine with me to the hospital. And I said, Mom, if you, I meant it as a joke, but if you want any, here's some wine. And she just laughed, and we didn't have any. But today, we had wine. A lot.
I'm glad you clarified that because, at least that puts it on you as a person and not on the establishment. 'Cause
No.
I pictured, right next to the Starbucks in the lobby. It's just a bar.
No.
You go down there and
But
just
they
get
are,
the
the
drinks.
nurses are super, they didn't, there was clearly bottles of wine there. I put them on the shelf, but they could see them when they came in. I honestly think, again, not to bring it down. They know my grandmother is dying. We're moving her to hospice as soon as she's out of that room. So I think they're pretty lenient with us due to the circumstances.
I know you mentioned it before we got on the air. I'm really sorry to hear that. I didn't realize it was that serious. I know that she was in the hospital, but sorry to hear that.
We will not be sad on this podcast.
Nope,
I
we won't.
appreciate it.
Everybody's making hard
I've been
hands.
sad on this podcast for the last hour, but this is genuine.
You think about it, Livius, it's maybe not a bad idea for hospitals to have bars next to the Starbucks in them because,
Dude, it's not bad.
seriously. Lots of
not.
reasons.
I guess it just struck me as I read it and I was like,
I remember going to a hospital when I was a child, and in the basement food area there was a fucking McDonald's, and I'm like, why is there a McDonald's in a hospital? Seriously.
Honestly, it's because the hospital food is so bad.
I don't know. I did a sleep study at a hospital once, and they'd give me these fucking vouchers to go to the eatery. And goddamn, if they didn't have the best frozen custard I've ever had in my entire life.
That's dessert. Dessert is hard to fail.
It's
It
should be. It should be, but you can very easily fail frozen custard.
Are we going to talk about the horrors of hospital food now? Is that where we're going?
Let me.
He's covering his face again.
He hasn't resorted to two hands yet. That's when we know we gotta stop.
How many viewers do we have?
Well, we have Comrade Chrome. Maybe. He hasn't responded.
Somebody just signed in and we went from 2 to 3. I apologize if you just tuned in. This is go back. This started off in earnest 2.5 hours ago.
Livius is just like, I need to go to sleep. That's all Livius is like.
Wait, are we not having like an encore that like doesn't include YouTube?
Oh, we totally are. We totally are, because I have to open another beer soon.
This is going on to our normal podcast, so I do think that this is probably a good time to thank our guests. Jesse, thank you for the umpteenth time for being a guest host on this holiday episode, and
thank you
again. We'll see you again in 2 weeks, and then we'll see you at Christmas. Misty, Miss Surprised Face, thank you. Quite honestly, the sewing thing. Goddamn brilliant. So we'll see you at Christmas. Rob, I'm going to see you next week. Next week's episode will be an interview, a conversation. Let's call it a conversation with Seth Harwood.
Oh, yeah. That's good. I'm glad you told me that.
Yeah. And I'm Livius Nedden.
And I'm Rob Olson. Keep reading.